Oh, I totally agree. I agree, dude. It's
Vince McMahon, about I don't know when it was, he resigned because, for those who know, Vince McMahon has resigned because of being accused by the assailant Janelle Grant of sexual assault and sexual trafficking.
yes.
It was said in the Wall Street Journal, and I even read some of the text messages, and they're just disgusting as fuck, man.
And there's people out there in this world, and I'm going to state this before we go any further. Um, I am, and I'm going to go ahead and state this. I have been accused of these things. I have been found guilty of these things. Um, I still fight for my innocence no matter what. But I was found guilty of a jury of my own peers at the young age of 23. I did not know what I was getting myself into because I thought to believe whenever you're growing up that you're presumed innocent until proven guilty. Now, what I'm about to tell you all is this right here isn't one count. This isn't two counts. These are multiple indictments from several people against the man that was formerly the owner of WWE. Me, on the other hand, had one account, and I tried. I fought very, very valiantly. At least I thought I had a lawyer who was a judge and didn't do his job. Um, I was the last person to be indicted, last person to be found guilty by a district attorney here in Mobile because later on they found child pornography on his work computer. I was supposed to serve a 10-year split one with 2 years probation. Phil, I know this is new to you, and I apologize that you're having to hear this for the first time. I served 134 days in jail and mixed with prison. I think it was like 24 days in prison. I was sentenced to 2 years probation and only served 6 months. And in time of that 6 months, I took 3 lie detector tests, and my probation officer told me to never come back. You take that for what you will, and then you decide how you want to play that game. So, and again, Phil, I apologize for you not knowing that or anybody else listening to this, but it's the truth. And but what we're fixing to talk about. What's up, Josh? How you doing, brother?
So, Josh,
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good. I will talk. I'll tell you about this when we kill this podcast. What I just said, if you didn't hear.
I just got here, so I just heard the call, so I came running down. I was like, "Who the hell's this?"
Yeah, you're good. You're good. We're doing a impromptu calling on Vince McMahon's sex scandal.
Uh huh.
And what I just got through saying is the truth, though, Phil. And I do apologize for you having to hear that over the air like this. I am terribly sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Did I blow your mind, bro?
a
Well,
little
no,
bit.
I already heard about it. Like last night, actually.
No, no, no. What I just told Phil probably blew his mind because he had
Okay.
no idea. And
Oh, really?
yeah, yeah. I'll tell you as soon as this podcast ends, I'm gonna give him time to digest everything I just said. But um, this isn't one
See?
person coming after him. And I will tell you my whole story in a little bit, Phil, and as well as you, Josh. What happened and what I went through and what I still go through to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what is going on with Vince McMahon? There's not one person. One person has come out so far, but from what I've understood, it's multiple NDAs, multiple women, and there's what I'm gathering. It's over 13 or 15 million dollars in money supposedly.
I even have the list of the gifts he gave Janelle Grant as well. Like I tapped, so it says former WWE employee Janelle Grant from 2019 until early 2022. Mr. McMahon provided Miss Grant with gifts to keep her under his control. Upon information believed, the gifts provided to Miss Grant included one purchased by McMahon and expenses them to WWE. Example of the items received by Miss Grant from McMahon in 2019 include the following: alternate clinic, medical care, and medical cosmetic services and products. When apparently her hair was falling out, and from what I've read, she was going from all the trauma that Vince was, the bullshit he was putting her through. There's falling out because of the stress and the PTSD, and she wanted to go to her personal. It's like, no, I'll do it. I'm sorry, just like
sounds just like him though, man. I mean, to me
he's
personally,
a fuck.
Yeah. And to be honest, a person that is a predator or a sexual deviant, I believe that if it's just one account and one person saying one thing, you have a better chance of proving yourself innocent. But when it's multiple people coming out against you, chances are that, again,
you got a problem.
More guilty than
you go to
you are.
Yeah. And just like, for example, some of the Me Too movement speakers, the ones that I recently went back and watched the Chris Van Vliet with Patrick, Velveteen Dream. I used to call him Velveteen Dream. And I watched that whole interview. And I have to admit, Velveteen Dream is innocent, 100% innocent. He had proof of everything he did and everything was said. And I honestly believe that he's never been arrested for the crimes that they say he did. He's never been under any type of, looked at for anything that he did wrong. And they're asking, well, where did they get the leaked pics from and all this stuff? And he's like, look, man, he said, I handed you a list of people in the WWE that have already had leaked photos. Mandy Rose, Alexa Bliss, Seth Rollins. Who else was leaked photos?
Saraya.
Saraya. All these people.
Charlotte Flair had some leaked ones.
Charlotte did too. A lot of the wrestlers have leaked nude photos. And they're like, your name ain't on it though. And he's like, well, there's a lot of people's names that still aren't on there because there was so many to list. And he said, do you think yours is one of them? He said, I 100% believe so. And he goes, but everything that happened back then in 2019 and what they said I did was wrong. People just try to get me in trouble because they didn't like the fact that I quit working with them. They're like, yeah, but that guy was 16 years old. And he goes, let me take you back down memory lane. He said, I was 19 years old. I just got into the business. He said, I had a guy to look after me when I was 16 years old and he was 21, give me my first shot to get in the wrestling ring to tune myself and make myself better. He said, you think he's a sexual deviant for doing that? Do you think he did anything improper for me to do that? No. He asked me why I wanted to be a wrestler. What am I doing for a living? What are my goals? And what's my body fat? He said, that right there isn't asking anybody anything sexual. He said, if you can look on everything I sent him was nothing sexual. He even put out on his tweet, in his 3-page manifesto, his 3-tweet manifesto, that I never came on to him. I never said anything sexual. But at the very bottom, it said that I should not be part of the WWE and I should not be in front of kids. Because he was angry at me because I told him I wasn't going to work with him no more because he got 2 concussions back to back. But that was the Velveteen Dream thing. We're talking about someone that was the owner of a multi-billion-dollar company.
Defecating on people, on women's faces.
And you know what's crazy about it? There's even still a bunch of Vince, as I call them, Vincels, as I call them.
I'm going to tell you this. I recently came across a fantasy of someone that wanted to be in the shoes of the person, one of the people that have been in saying the things about Vince McMahon. If I was in that person's shoes, I'm going to quote word for word, verbatim. If I was in that person's shoes, not only would I have done what he wanted me to do for the money, I would have completely shut my mouth, knowed my role, and then on top of that, been okay for the rest of my life. Hence, this person is 23 years old. Hence, again, people younger than us, all 3 of us combined over here are probably over 100 years old, if not older. But we grew up in a time and era that sex was something you did behind closed doors. You didn't try to go out and make yourself promiscuous. And yet we knew people that were promiscuous. I'm not going to lie to you. I did. But at the same token, they didn't take it to the leaps and bounds that people are doing now. I just came across a thing called CNC. Do y'all even know what that is?
No.
Do you want to know what that is?
No.
Well, I'm going to tell you anyway. PCC is called consensual, non-consensual sex.
What?
Exactly my point. Does that make any sense to you either?
No, it doesn't.
No.
No. How do you make consent but non-consent at the same time? There is no such thing. It's called rape or not rape, right?
Vape? Fake rape?
Rape, yeah. There you go.
Man, he sent her a lot of gifts, though, Vince did. He also sent her, like, clubhouse accesses to Belmont Stakes, $20,000 towards plastic surgery, pearl diamonds, let's see. Wow, even a massive box of Gold Diva. He also sent her, like, WrestleMania tickets. Oh, my God. Even, like, gray cashmere, blue cashmere, blueberry check cashmere scarf. Oh, my God. He's basically spoiled this woman.
Spoiled the shit out of her. Yeah, I've read some of that.
You also gave her a 2022 BMW 430X1. $5,000 gift card to Land Gear Spa, 2 private chef catered dinners in McMahon's condo, gold diamond paperclip necklace, like cable knit through blanket, and bouquets of
What does
flowers
this lady look
each
like?
other week.
Do we even know what the lady looks like? Is she a hot lady? I mean, is she just?
She's a very attractive woman. She's also sleeving sunglasses, cable, food assortments, display an antique tea ceremony set from Saudi Arabia.
Now,
And the thing is that she's living. Apparently, this is when McMahon is separated from Linda, and they're living in the same condo. Like, I'm picturing Vince McMahon at condo is pretty well off, and it's like I'm thinking this woman is not too well off either. But you know, she got
Linda
a job.
was South Florida, but she knew about it though.
Yeah, just beforehand, you know.
100%. Now, this is where it gets tricky for me, okay? If you're living with this man and you're doing all these things for this man, and you have Sable on the same token as this man doing all these things, and this lady was supposedly rumored to be with Brock Lesnar at one point in time, but they didn't hook up.
Married to Brock Lesnar.
But they never hooked up. So, from what I gather, from what I've read, him and her text back and forth. She showed him new pictures. He said he liked what he saw. And then he asked her to take a video of her urinating. She's sending it back, and he called her a bitch. And he was supposedly setting up a play date later on. And
but it was due to a snowstorm.
Exactly. So my thing is this. Who else is involved in all this shit? We know
Johnny Ace is involved in it.
Oh, John Laurinaitis? Oh, 100%, dude.
Oh yeah.
I also heard.
I don't think the two women are. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Dunn was in it too.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Him.
Also, he's basically what Jim Cornette. You refer to him as Vince McMahon's Renfield.
Damn.
Yeah. Wow, dude, that's messed up.
It's this beaver teeth of his. It's like, yes, master.
I do whatever you want, Vince McMahon.
He is a member of the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club.
They all are. And
I wouldn't be surprised if Bruce Pritchard's involved in this.
But I don't know if you heard the news. Also, another news that broke out is like he actually. I think they officially he stepped down from the TKO.
Yeah, he's officially gone.
He had to, but he's saying he stepped down. He said he did it on his own, but there's other reports saying they made him do it. So,
well, yeah. Well, the thing was, she was initially that was the when the first charges came around or the first allegations, she was the one. That was the one that broke the news, but none of this information came out. And now since
until I think it was Brad Shepard.
Yeah.
Leaked her name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then well, what it was is that now she broke her silence because I guess what it was is that McMahon reneged on the payments.
Yes.
Gave her $1 million, didn't pay out the whole $3 million.
Yeah,
and now she since McMahon was now in breach of contract or whatever the legality is called.
Okay.
It's just like, okay, here's my book.
Well, What do you want to do with it?
And here's another thing, though. Vince is fucked so hard. You can't get Jerry McDevitt on this because he's retired.
Yeah.
Carmen has officially bit Vince in the ass.
Yeah.
But I hate to say this,
It's
Patrick Clark said, or Velveteen Dream, he even stated that there are a lot of people in this world that have been found guilty or been come across them as sexual deviants and being attacked because of the money they have. Now, he said not all of them were innocent by far. Not all of them are. He said, but a few of them have been innocent in their cases. He even said he went down a list. He named Danny Masterson, who we all know was found guilty. R. Kelly found guilty. Another one that was a huge name back in the day, Jim Brown, found innocent. Deshaun Watson, still ongoing. Prince, Kobe Bryant, and the list goes on and on. I'm not going to go down the list that he read off, but that's just a little bit of the list that he read. And all those people I just named, how many of them were found innocent in their trials? I think 2, maybe 3. I think Prince was found innocent as well. I think
Here's the thing, though.
Kobe, and then
people are just like, but what about Chris Jericho? Like, there's not enough evidence of Chris Jericho. There is way more evidence on Vince McMahon than there is Chris Jericho.
Like with Chris Jericho, it's like that was more of a butthurt thing, type of a legality thing. He's like, hey, I didn't sign no NDA, and it's like all of a sudden, it's like I said before. I think I said in another podcast, it's like they overbought Kylie Ray's name into it. It's like, if they would have said anybody from his past 30, 40 years of wrestling, there's so many other female wrestlers they could have named, but you picked
is one of them.
Big Kylie Ray, the most mentally unstable person right there.
And that's nothing to dig at her. I mean, honestly,
it's nothing to dig,
she's also struggling with drug abuse, and I hope she gets better.
I do too. Yeah. And I'm not here to throw smoke at her. I'm not here to throw shade at her at all. I'm not here to throw shade at nobody. But there is so much against Vince McMahon. He's not the only one. Let's talk about Michael Elgin, for example. He was fired from every company he had associated with because of domestic violence, sexual assault, sexual, all kinds of deviant acts. But he was never, ever found guilty. But there have been reports of him being arrested for all of them. So I can see why everybody put the pause on him and fired him from every company he ever worked for. Now, on that same token, here we're going to go talk about Dave Crist, Jake Crist's brother, who was also known as OVE, Ohio versus Everyone. So we're going to talk about one person. We got to talk about it all. Ohio versus Everyone. Jake Crist and Dave Crist were both fired from TNA Impact. They were let go. The other now, I think it's Jake Crist now is coming back. And he's been a Wrestling Revolver World Heavyweight Champion. He just lost it last night to Alex Shelley. He's fighting an MLW coming up. I think that's why he lost the title to Alex Shelley. But his brother has a long history of sexual misconduct, sexual allegations going back to whenever he was like a little over barely legal up until he was fired from TNA. And then you have, of course, we all know about the Mr. Sleazy Man himself, Joey Ryan, and all his allegations that came forward, but nobody has ever found him guilty of anything. He's never been arrested for anything. They basically blackballed him from wrestling, but they never, ever arrested him.
Yeah. It was the same thing with Marty Scurll, too.
Same thing with Marty. Marty had sex with a 16-year-old, and it was legal in England. It's legal here in America. It's just morally wrong.
Yeah.
Therefore, he gets classified with the sex offenders and predators as well, which is a wrong, raw deal. And I would stand by Marty 100,000%, along with a lot of other people that have been found guilty of something they didn't do. For example, David Starr. Great wrestler, great guy, kept quiet, still keeping quiet on everything. He just decided that it was best for him not to be wrestling and to let his victim go ahead and spew all the guts she had. And she is the one who spilt the guts about the Jericho thing, which we all know is bullshit. She's also the one that spilt the guts about the Marty Scurll thing. Again, bullshit. She's also the one that spit all the guts against Gentleman Jack Gallagher. Again, bullshit. So, not only to say though, those three people, she also spread the news about Matt Riddle. We know it's bullshit. We all know she spread the rules against God, what's that guy's name? Fuck, I can't remember him, but he was let go too, and then it come to find out that it was bullshit as well. So, but she did have some little bit of truth in her. Joey Ryan, we'll go with, but again, if you've never been found guilty and never been arrested for a crime that you did for any of this shit, then bullshit.
What was it? El Patron. Was it? That's another.
El Patron.
Yeah. She didn't spill the guts on him. Saraya did. Alberto Del Rio. Yeah, Saraya is the one who spilled the guts about that one, and there's a lot of shit on that. She opened some doors on that. He was acquitted of all charges, and he's now back in Mexico. And I don't think he's allowed to. I think he's allowed to come to America to see his kids and what have you. But other than that, I don't think he has any other stake in the Americas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know all the legality issues in that. Conan could probably attest to that more than I could because I don't know all the legality issues. Speaking of Alberto Del Patron, he is not the AAA heavyweight champion yet. He is scheduled to fight El Hijo del Vikingo in April because he's now taking the spot of Andrade. That is what happened. That is why that's a big deal going on in AAA, and there's a lot of shit going on over there that a lot of people are pulling their wrestlers, hence AEW and TNA, are pulling their wrestlers from the event because of Alberto Del Patron.
Really?
Yeah. Matter of fact, if I recall correctly, Moxley was supposed to go down there and wrestle. He got pulled. An Impact wrestler. Let me go back here and look. I got my tablet.
So American wrestlers are getting pulled from the event.
From what I understand, yes.
Okay.
Is this like the AAA event?
Yes.
I think it's because that's kind of weird though. But here's another thing, because I found on Collision that AEW is brought over some talent from CMLL, and CMLL and AAA, they do not like to work with each other.
Not at all.
No.
And let me go back and double check some stuff.
It involves like a lot of history family, like between both families. That owns the company.
Yeah.
Oh, also, side note, I just noticed that Okada appeared on TNA.
At their television taping, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also said that, he does not like TNA. It wasn't for TNA. It was Vince Russo that gave him that stupid Kato gimmick.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Triple Mania 31 is going to be held in April. Oh, that's last year. 32 is this year, ain't it?
I thought 30 was last year.
Well, 31
is in April.
Yeah, April 15th, April 15th, August 12th. Yeah, that's Triple Mania 31.
Oh, and also there are rumors of saying that Okada and Mercedes Moné are going to AEW.
Yeah, I heard that too.
And there's also rumors that Forbidden Door is going to be held in the Tokyo Dome this year.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's going to be good.
Yes. So it looks like
I'm about to get my passport.
First time AEW has been in Japan ever, and
yeah.
And I'm saying this, Tony Khan owes it to the Japanese fans for having Forbidden Door, the first Forbidden Door in the United Center in Chicago, the second one in in Toronto. It's about time they go to Japan. I mean, they've already went to London for All In.
Yeah, they did, and they're going back to London this year. And now look at this. Now I'm looking at the whole card as it looks at right here for the Lucha AAA, the Mega Champion. It's Commander versus El Hijo del Vikingo, Rich Swann versus Swerve Strickland, who are not appeared on the actual poster. This was last year. Oh shit, this is last year. Okay, hold on. Time out.
Anyways, what other controversies we could bring up as like in the past? Well, didn't Macho Man's brother get into some trouble? Lanny Poffo?
Yes, but he got acquitted as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
There's some other controversies that happened. I mean, look at what this. I mean, look at Vince. He's never taken the fall for anything. You know, he's always blamed had other people cover. He always basically sold people out. Look what he did to Dr. David Schultz.
All right, listen to this. 2024 is nearly a month old, and aside from reaffirming their partnership with TNA and parting ways with less than amicably with Black Taurus, Lucha Libre AAA has had a relatively quiet start of the year. But that doesn't mean the promotion hasn't been planning things, including perhaps goodbye to one of the biggest stars in the history of Lucha Libre. At a press conference Tuesday, unveiled their 2024 plans, with the most notable being the return of the Triple Mania series. Like the past 2 years, Triple Mania 32 will also take place across 3 shows set in Monterrey, Nuevo Leon, Tijuana, Baja California, and Mexico City. With Triple Mania 32 Monterrey occurring first on April 27 in Estadio Mobile Super. It will then follow June 15th and Estadio Chevron, while Triple Mania 32 Mexico City will conclude series on August 17th in Arena Ciudad de Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And they have not exactly extended anything, with no announcements were made regarding the Triple Mania 32 cards. They're likely to feature some final matches in the career of Lucha Legend Vampiro. AAA has also announced that 2024 would also feature a farewell tour for the Lucha Legend, who would then wrap his career up at the end of the year. I don't know how to speak in Spanish very, very well, so I'll leave that alone.
I could probably speak it better than you, man, because I actually Spanish in high school.
Yeah, no es Elenio de Obrero o uno Gramojihan, Nuesar, que origines triple o su conceptio. Yeah, I'm done. Not going to ruin this shit anymore.
Hey, that was a better job than me. And I'm half Spanish. Shit.
Good, man.
So
That was pretty good.
Cool. From Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada, Vampiro arrived in Mexico in the early 90s and became an overnight sensation while working with CMLL, becoming Lucha Libre's top draw alongside career rival Conan. Now, Vampiro is also known for his time in WCW, Lucha Underground, and NWA, and recently claimed to be suffering from
He was also tag team partners with the Great Muta. They were both tag team champions.
And on a side note of this, I'm going to be another thing I've been doing. I went back and watched a lot of the WCW stuff, and I came across Super Brawl 99. Do y'all remember Super Brawl 99? I mean, not Super Brawl, Fall Brawl. Fall Brawl 99. Y'all remember?
That was one of the worst Fall Brawls ever.
You're going to have to refresh my memory right there.
Hulk Hogan basically just laid down and let Sting pin him.
Yeah, it was horrible. But you also had the match between Conan and Scott Hall, with Scott Hall being a drunk. Yeah, it was. But Scott Hall wrestled good as a drunk.
Fall Brawl was Super Brawl 99 was pretty good too. I mean, that was the pay-per-view when Ray took off the mask.
Okay, so the match between it was Vampiro and ICP.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
They're not bad. They're good at taking bumps, though.
It was Billy Kidman and Ray and Juventud.
Ooh,
yeah,
good.
the Filthy Animals.
Yes.
Filthy Animals. Yeah, there you go.
The original Filthy Animals. And
now with Disco, oh my God, that was just so cringe.
Yeah, and I watched this match, and the lead up to it, like how they used to do back in the day in all pay-per-views, they give you a storyline. They're having a match, and are they wrestlers? Or are they rappers? And what are they? And you have the ICP going the whole way through it, and that a couple of clips here and there, them singing, a couple of clips of them actually doing wrestling moves, and Shaggy 2 doing a moonsault, Violent J doing a top rope leg drop, and the winner of the match was Billy Kidman. But the match wasn't bad.
Yeah, if I remember right,
ICP weren't bad wrestlers at all. They actually learned. They actually, if I'm correct, they actually own their own wrestling promotion.
Yeah,
Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
not championship. Championship.
They are huge wrestling fans. They learned the craft and everything. The only person that doesn't give them credit is Jim Cornette
and Dave Meltzer.
Mm-hmm.
But
wow, Meltzer and Corny have something in common.
Nobody likes the Clowns, man. They're the most number one rated, hated duo in wrestling and rap history. Hell,
I thought they were good. I actually don't mind ICP.
Yeah,
they just get a lot of shit. They always, even their fans get treated like shit too.
The old school Juggalos, and I would call myself an old school Juggalo from the '90s up to the early 2000s.
Yeah, I classify myself that in that group.
Most people call them a bunch of high school dropout meth head trailer park trash. Most of them call them that.
Yes, but in all fairness, the new wave of the Juggalos are mostly that.
Unfortunately,
they paint their fingernails, they do meth, and they go whoop whoop, and they try to get free handouts. Trust me, I've seen it here in Mobile.
Oh God, I actually have friends that actually have the Hatchet Man tattoo, and they are actually responsible people.
Yeah, but are they of our age?
Yes.
Okay, then that's different.
Yeah,
that's totally
real Juggalos.
I'm talking about these new wave punks that are painting their fingernails black, wearing freaking goth makeup, and calling themselves Juggalos, and they look like they just got through inhaling a buttload of paint. And I'm not talking about the ones that they put on their face, if you know what I'm saying.
Are you talking about like the from out of an aerosol can?
Mm-hmm.
We'll go with that. And paint chips as well. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Basically, you're talking about tweakers.
You said it. I didn't. No, I'm playing. Yes, 100%. 100%. Yes. But that's getting us sidetracked from what we were talking about completely.
Yes.
But,
all right.
Yeah, it's 100%. I mean, I'm not here to bash on Juggalos from this era.
Nothing against Juggalos or anything, like it's just like I said, they just get a bad rep
because of one bad person. And here's another fun fact. We're talking about sexual deviance and stuff like that, like Vince McMahon. One of the guys who was doing all the Wizard of the Hood, which was a big independent album from Violent J. Whenever they did the whole Wizard of the Hood tour for Violent J and ICP as well.
The Wizard of the Hood, yep.
Yeah. The guy who did all the actual costumes and stuff was found guilty of what was it? It was sodomy something. However, one of the Juggalos or Juggalettes found out that he worked for ICP, got his job taken away from him, and because she said that her best friend was one of the people that he did things to. Now remember, one of the people that he did things to. Supposedly there was like multiple people on this organized crime ring of his, I guess you would say, but it all happened back like 20 plus years before he was even hooked up with ICP, and they had no clue.
I also had a friend of mine said that he wouldn't be surprised if Vince McMahon was linked to Jeffrey Epstein.
Nobody's surprised at this moment about anything with Vince McMahon.
He is the Harvey Weinstein of professional wrestling.
Never gonna find that list.
Oh, you mean the list that the Clintons blew away? Please don't kill me, Bill Clinton. Please don't kill me. But I mean, I don't know anything about the whole Jeffrey Epstein list or anything like that, and I don't care to know about the Jeffrey Epstein list.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Get a person killed,
dude.
Literally.
Yeah, we know. We fucking know.
No.
But I mean, just like the rapper Chris Webby said, if they ain't gonna kill me, then I don't want to be a marked man. Okay, I just don't want to be a marked man for this. I don't want to die on that hill alone. If you know what I'm saying. I know what a list is,
There's
everybody.
hills
It's
that no people should be dying on.
yeah, exactly. But you know, but as far as Vince McMahon goes, even Slim Jim pulled their whole sponsorship from them. I heard Snickers pulled their sponsorship as well. The whole M&M's people pulled their sponsorship from every other pay-per-view going forward this year.
What today? Oh, right today?
Yeah.
Holy
Really?
shit!
Oh,
Really?
Jim did, but I'm just saying. I think I'm not 100% sure on that. That was the
wouldn't be
news
surprised,
page.
especially this is not the first time Snickers had issues with WWE. Remember what happened with Fabius Moolah?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just like the whole transphobia thing with Bud Light, they put a transgender person on their beer can and poof, all of America went brrr.
Yeah.
I mean, I could care less about that. There's worse.
Hey, man, America's
that was
dumb.
a strange hill to die on there.
America's dumb when it comes to stupidity. Okay, I'll admit to it. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen a woman actually call a black guy the N-word just because she was drunk. And all I could do was go, wow. Like, how stupid can you be? Just because you're drunk gives you all the power in the world to call somebody something that you should never call somebody?
Oh yeah.
You, my lady, should never drink again. And that was on Twitter last night, matter of fact.
For every action, there's always going to be consequences,
Yeah, 100%.
And apparently Vince McMahon, he's every time something went wrong, in wrestling, like when he had this idea, he blamed it on the wrestler, not himself.
Remember the trial?
Like the bear, like when he tried to repackage Keith, he's like, no. We're gonna repackage you as Bearcat.
That's terrible.
What?
Yeah, the whole Keith Lee thing. Now, do you remember how Lita even spoke out about this recently, about how Vince McMahon wanted? It was a night after the Edge won the championship. He's like, "Yeah, you and him are going to go out there and have a live sex show in front of thousands and millions of people on television." John Cena, Edge, amongst everybody else in the locker room was like, "Vince, that's a terrible idea." No, I want to see it. Everybody wants to see that shit.
Yeah.
No, remember, he also wanted to try to have an incest storyline with Stephanie. I'm just like,
ew.
What the fuck?
Yeah, between her, him, and her son. That was fucked up. And do y'all remember the whole incest angle between Paul Burchill and his sister, supposedly, even though they're not related? Kate Burchill and Paul Burchill, the two Englishmen. The dude came in dressed like fucking Captain Jack Sparrow.
Oh yeah, I remember that, and I was just
yeah.
Damn, that was a bad idea.
Terrible idea.
Here's another one I didn't like. Remember when he's actually more close to that actual Mr. McMahon character he created.
Oh,
like remember what he did to Trish Stratus? He made her take off her clothes, wearing nothing but her bra and panties right in the middle of the ring, made her bark like a dog.
Just to keep the job.
And he almost made her take off her top at first. And I was just like,
dude.
I'm just like,
I'm going to say
what he did to Lita, like after, like when she was about to leave, like she had crime time, humiliating.
Junk from her bag or something like that.
Yeah. Now, what do y'all remember about Shelly Martinez or Ariel, the vampire chick from Kevin Thorne in the WWE ECW days?
I haven't heard. I follow her on Twitter. I just don't know what she's been up to the past,
Well, did you hear what she said when she worked at WWE?
About,
because if you remember correctly, she also had problems with growing up being sexually molested as a child, and if not raped as well.
Oh my God!
So, and she went on to say that her and Melina were best friends at the time. They were good friends. And this man's over here cleaning up stuff in his damn basement. Look at him.
Yeah, I got stuff to do, and I'm paying attention and commenting.
Focus.
You're good. You're good. And then on top of that, you know that a person was on top of her, a wrestler, and his name was Umaga. And
Oh my God.
so,
Really?
yeah, this is all legit. You can look at her story and everything as well. So yeah, and but the whole ordeal was they were in a loud argument. Umaga pushed himself over on top of her. And whenever he did that, she immediately freaked out and was like, please, oh, please don't let him rape me. She said there was a lot of other people in the room. And she said, I had been drinking. We all were. And she was with, it was something else. And
she probably had a flashback. It's a sign of PTSD from what I've seen.
All right. But before all this started, she was trying to date somebody in the locker room on WWE side. But ECW, half are going to Raw, half are went to SmackDown. She went to the SmackDown side. The guy that she liked went to Raw side. And she said a couple of the wrestlers, she didn't name them, told her, we all have a bet going, who gets you first?
Huh.
And she's like, none of you have a chance. Well, you're not even dating him. She's like, well, if I was into a guy, I was loyal to that person no matter what. And I wasn't just going to go sleep around with somebody I did not know or want to know. So, and her defense was, you know, I didn't want nothing to do with nobody. I didn't want that to happen. And she said after our house show, they all went out celebrating, and one thing led to another. And this is how Umaga landed up on top of her. She pushed him off. And then the next night behind, you know, at the show, doing the show, she cornered up Melina, and she was talking to Melina about what happened. And she heard Umaga say, hey, smarten that bitch up, will you? And it's like, wow, bro. Wow. And the rest of it was basically that I went over and talked to him and said, I ain't say nothing to nobody but Melina, and I kept my mouth shut and all this other shit. But all this ties into Vince McMahon. Because if you're the owner of the company and you have people doing that to your wrestlers, guess what that falls on to as well? You, because
Vince,
you own the company.
That just shows that Vince McMahon is letting the boys
do whatever, man. And even Lance Storm has said some volatile shit about Vince. Some real hard.
Oh, he hates Vince. I mean, look at the way he booked that. I mean, he treated him like a joke. And he's like one of the best technical wrestlers on the planet.
Of all time. He's up there with Bret Hart.
Yeah.
He was trained in the dungeon, in Stu Hart's dungeon, for fuck's sake.
Dude.
I remember when he was even tag team partners with Chris Jericho when they were wrestling in Smoky Mountain.
Yep.
They were tag team Smoky Mountain Wrestling SMW tag team champions. If I'm correct.
But I have looked at a lot of different posts and forums and this stuff. And a lot of people are saying, oh, I'm still going to watch WWE regardless. And I'm like, I have no opinion of that. I can't really say nothing, but I can say this. If this same shit came out about Tony Khan tomorrow, they'll be asking for its fucking head. They'll be boycotting AEW, asking for it to be shut down, never to exist again.
Yeah.
I call it double standards.
And I'm not trying to blow smoke, and I'm not trying to say, you know, tit for tat. But if you're going to say one thing about one company, you might as well do it for the other companies as well.
Exactly. They're just saying that they always make jokes about Tony Khan saying he's like Herb Abrams from UWF.
Herb Abrams was a cokehead who loved cowboy boots. Okay? And we don't know if he's living or dead. We don't. Nobody knows if he's alive or dead.
He died what he loved, hookers and cocaine, man.
But they never found his body, bro. Am I lying about this, or did they find his body recently? Because I have heard they have never found that man's body.
All I know is he died from cocaine.
That's what they said. That's what they said. But they never found his body. They
They're
said
calling
they
it Kurt
arrested him.
Junior stuff.
They said that they arrested him and he broke free out of the cop car by kicking out the window and took off running. They found the
This
body.
is actually a
later
friend
on.
from my friend Matt. Matt, he says it's a horrible day to be a Vince McMahon fan, and I agree.
It's a horrible day
Yeah.
to be a wrestling fan, to be honest.
True.
It
Me,
really
I'm
is.
actually celebrating Vince McMahon getting fucked over.
But why? I mean, if you think about it,
I-
it hurts all of wrestling, dude. Because truth be known, WWE is the biggest market for wrestling. And a bad mark on that company is a bad mark on all the promotions of professional wrestling. Not just WWE. It's a bad mark on AEW. It's a bad mark on TNA. It's a bad mark on GCW. It's a bad mark all over the fucking world. Just
And it's kind of crazy. This happened right 2 days before the Royal Rumble.
2 days. And then today,
Yeah.
Slim Jim pulled their promotional sponsorship. And then also today, Vince McMahon stepped down. Or was that, yeah, yesterday we came out the allegations. Today he stepped down. Am I correct on that?
Yep, and
Yeah.
after Slim Jim dropped their sponsorship, and also Snickers dropped their sponsorship. I do agree it's a bad day, but like I said, I'm glad that TKO is doing something did something about it. They have to get rid of Vince.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I totally agree on that statement. But on the same token, though, everything that's going on, everything that has been going on in the sport of professional wrestling, this ain't the first time this has happened. This won't be the last time it's happening, but it'll be hopefully the last time that something this big has gone on for so long that nobody knows.
Chris Benoit, look what happened. Look what happened with him and everything.
That was CTE. We all know that was CTE.
Yeah.
That was nothing
Exactly.
sexual deviancy there. He didn't have sex with his wife's body before he killed himself.
It was all
Brain damage.
It's the reason why, because of that. Chris Benoit is the reason why WWE went into the PG era.
They had to do something, man. They had to take away a black eye. And to believe it or not, the whole Chris Benoit thing supposedly was supposed to be a real black eye to WWE. But if you
here's something I think Maria Canella said something about it. 'Cause
she's been speaking out about it a while. Sable too.
she's known about it. She apparently, I wouldn't be surprised. I think because remember she was hired by John Laurinaitis, because instead of like wrestlers, John Laurinaitis is also a pervert that rather hire
Supermodels.
Spit it out.
He's trying to get people out of his room. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Speak, brother. Speak.
All right, what was I saying about?
You said
John Laurinaitis.
Yes, John Laurinaitis, he'd rather hire supermodels instead of actual wrestlers and everything, and that's the reason why he did, because he didn't want, because he basically wonder like what they wanted to do with them.
two people that I want to speak on that haven't said a word, and they probably never will. One of them is dead, and that was Ashley Massaro. She spoke out very, 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 very candidly about how her time in WWE was very, very bad.
I mean, look what happened to her in Iraq and everything. She was a soldier, and WWE didn't do shit about it.
And she even went to John Laurinaitis and Vince McMahon and told them what happened, and they turned a blind eye. And,
Okay, you gotta have to refresh my memory on that one. What happened in Iraq?
she was
that
raped.
happened in Iraq during the tribute to the troops.
She was raped
Really?
by a bunch of servicemen.
She going over to being a wrestler, got raped.
By a bunch of the servicemen there, yes.
Yep, these are the
Allegations.
Iraq. Yeah, these are the guys serving these are the guys playing. These are. It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. However, it was just allegations, but 2 years later, she killed herself.
I remember when that happened. I'm just like,
But another person I want to speak on is China. Um, her whole life was around wrestling, and um, the WWE did her very, very, very badly.
Oh yeah, they did it dirty.
They kicked her out of the company after Stephanie and Triple H were hooking up, and to keep it from her, and for for whatever reasons it was, they sent her packing. She left. Went on a bender, drugs, alcohol, you name it. Did porn. Uh, got sober. Called some people from the wrestling world. Got sober.
She went to Japan for a little while teaching English over there.
Yes, and doing great things in Japan. Came back to the United States.
This guy basically, these guys trying to make a documentary exploited her.
Yeah, they did, man. On Vice TV, man, they published that fucking thing, dude, and I was like, you.
I was angry what they did to her and everything, and like even Jim Cornette was mad. Tell those fuckers they can go fuck off.
It was bad, man. It was god awful. They're like, we didn't mean to do it like that.
Oh no,
you did. Yeah, the fuck you did. And the sad thing about it, when she came back to the United States, they were like, don't you want to go meet up with some of your old friends from the WWE? No, you don't tell her to go do stupid shit like that. You tell her to stay away from that shit because that fucked her head up.
Even Mick was like, this was just too soon for her. He knew something was wrong.
He did. And she came to TNA for them 2 matches. And the first match he asked her was like, are you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm good. And then the second match, he said there was something off about her, and nobody knew what it was, and then poof, dead.
No, I don't think she went to TNA. She went to TNA around 2010 or something, and it was like where she was teaming up with Kurt Angle and everything, and against China. Against Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett.
Yes, but
the match was not really good. China was not really in the best of shape at all for that match either.
Mentally, dude, she was good physically, but her mind was not there, dude.
I mean, that's why the reason why she didn't last long in New Japan Pro Wrestling either. She had a great match. Her first match was against Masahiro Chono, and she did pretty well from what I've heard. Even Chono and Inoki was thought she was great in that match.
A lot of people will praise her for her in-ring work in Japan. The thing was that
it's the drugs that got to her, and drugs.
She tried to block out the pain, man. It was just to block out wrestling. Yeah, and believe it or not, man, people can say cocaine and heroin and things of that nature, what wrestlers are taking. Yeah, for party uses, but they don't reflect on what they actually take the day-to-day stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm not talking
like paint, like Kurt Angle. Look what he took.
Percocets, 30 to 40 a day. Valium.
He was pain because of his neck, because of that neck and everything of his.
Neck and legs.
That neck injury that he got from the Olympics, caught up to him eventually.
It really did.
Mm-hmm.
And but like I said though, all that to be honest is crazy, man. Like they don't talk about all the drugs that the wrestlers take day to day. Kurt Angle was one of the first people to speak about it. John Moxley spoke about it as well. He
got addicted to alcohol,
but he was using alcohol and pain pills.
Yeah.
So
and look at Nick Gage.
Nick Gage loves the party, brother, but Nick Gage also knows now that his partying days are behind him, and he's trying to focus on living out the rest of his life as good as he can. And that dude
keeping what teeth he has left.
Exactly, and he is a nice gentleman. I will say this through and through. I've met him twice, and both times, I felt like I've known him a long time.
Yeah,
like when I saw the interview you did with Dark Side of the Ring and everything, he was very calm and collected, very humble. Yeah. Very humble.
I got to talk to him after the show on at Nuka Project, so I got to talk to him for just a little bit. It was kind of cold outside, so I was like, I just went out to him, say, hey, I know things didn't go right with the show that you wanted to do, but hey, you put on a hell of a show. He said, thank you so much, man. I know this weather kind of messed everything up, but like, hey, no problem, man. I had a great time. This was a fun show. It was like, I was like, thank you so much for putting on a show. It was like, all right, cool, man, brother. And I asked for a picture, and it's like, cool.
He's very humble with his fans, for what I've seen.
Yeah.
He loves fans.
Dude, he came up to me at the first show. He was doing a meet and greet, and for I think $30 to $50 is what it was. I think it was 30 at the end of the show. I didn't go up there and get any pictures with him or anything, but he came back by me and goes, "Hey man, I appreciate you coming out." And we talked for like 5 minutes, and boom, he went back in the back. The second time, me and my ex-girlfriend or fiance, whatever you want to call her, we were sitting on the front row again, and he came up to me and he said, "Man, thank y'all for being here." And I said, "Dude, no problem." He goes, "I seen you last time." I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Want to talk?" And I said, "Sure, we'll talk." And then he asked me about different things, and I asked him about different things. See, and the cool thing about it was everything I said to him and everything he said to me, we both looked at one another and we had that automatically 100% respect. And he goes, "Dude, you're one of the real ones." And I said, "You are too." And he said, and then he goes, "MDK." And I said, "All fucking day." And he goes, "Right on, bro." And
Nice.
dude, I even seen him do this a little. And if I can make that grown ass man do this with a tear in his eye, I know I hit him in the feels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, to me personally, I'll never have another experience like that ever. And if I do, then I hope it's with another person like Nick Gage. And to be honest, dude, and to be completely honest, that guy right there is one of the reasons I still love wrestling today.
I've also, there's also like this. Also, there's another humble wrestler I like, that is apparently like a lot of Joshi wrestlers. A lot of found out in Japan that a lot of Japanese guys are not like muscular women, and one of them is Wakana O'Hara. She wrestles in TJPW along with Maki Ito and the Ace, of course. You know what I'm talking about, the Ace of TJPW.
No, I don't.
Iwatani.
Iwatani.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. God, I got to brush up on my Japanese stuff.
Avalanche wagon tonight.
Iwatani, yeah, she's the one that has that game face a lot. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
She has that. Apparently, all right. Well, anyways.
Hold on right there. Hold your thought.
Wakana Udahara, she looks like a muscular version of a person with some baby metal. If you saw her.
I could go with that. 100%.
She's very athletic. She's originally started out. I find it interesting that most of these women in Japanese wrestling start out as like, especially Tokyo, start as pop idol singers.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, I do agree with that. Hold on 1 second. We kill this hour for this one, and then we'll start it back up. Continue.
All right.
That was pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we hit every single topic.
But
before we back on?
Not yet. Hold on.
It's a little surprising you told me that, man. I'm sorry that happened to you, bro.
No, man, it's cool. I promise you. I still deal with it. I will go ahead and I'll tell Josh too. I have no problem. I'm an open book, man. And people will say because I left the way I did in DCW, it was because of that, and that's bullshit. In 2004, I had people come out against me, and I'll tell the whole story. I don't have any. I know I'm live on YouTube, but I'm not live on the podcast.
Okay.
In 2004, me and a guy who is deceased now, we don't like each other. We never liked each other. Middle school, I was afraid of him, 100% afraid of him. I wasn't that big. I was maybe 100 pounds soaking wet all the way up until like 10th grade of my high school year. Then I started bulking up a little. But from 6th to 8th grade, I was bullied. I was picked on by this one guy. I'm not going to say his name because I'm not going to talk ill of the dead. I will never talk ill of the dead. But when I graduated high school, I went to the Air Force and I came home because Air Force me wasn't a fit. I seen the guy. I was working for a parts company, like AutoZone or Advanced or whatever. Not going to say the name, but I was working for one of those, and I was a delivery driver. Also, I was part of I was a night manager as well during this whole ordeal. And he noticed that I was working there, and he thought he could try to bully me again. Well, I noticed him manufacturing illegal drug inside of his business, and I tried to turn him in. I'm not a narc, but if I don't like somebody and they're out for me to hurt me,
You'll fuck him over.
I will do whatever I got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No more. And then it came out that he had a younger sibling, a sister, and he tried to say that I was sexual active with his sister, who was an underage minor. They threw all her shit out of court, 1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
But she had a friend who I had no idea about. And she got on stand and lied and said I did things to her and cried and pointed at me. 99.9% of the lawyers or jurors in America are going to find you guilty.
Yeah.
No matter what you say, no matter how you say it, no matter how many times you change your words to make you sound completely innocent, you are guilty, sir, no matter what. I was found guilty of not rape. I was found guilty of sodomy, 2nd degree. I fought it as hard as I could. My lawyer was a judge. The district attorney of my case was Steve Giardini. You can look him up. He was let go from the Alabama District Attorney Services because they found child pornography, him actually talking to a 12-year-old sexually on his computer. He was never brought to trial. He was never had any cases. They just silently let him go. I tried to get my case heard, tried to make an appeal, never happened, never came anything for it. I let it go. I am 43 years old now. People say, oh, you can still fight it. Why? Why am I going to fight something that I've already lived through? I don't want to dig that back up. People,
it's too painful, you know?
Yeah.
And they're saying that, what about the victim? What about the victim? Fuck the victim. I'm the fucking victim.
Yeah.
I'm screwed. And I will say that through the day I die. And there's not a damn lawyer or a damn judge that can convict me of that.
There's always people out to get you, man. Trust me. Like,
look.
Like right now, I'm dealing with this person that claimed to be someone, you know, I liked, and apparently I searched her out, found out that's the fake profile I'm talking about. I found out she has a boyfriend, and I just blocked her, and now she's threatening this person's threatening to blackmail me, and I'm just like. Basically trying to get me to do something, you know, and
dude, I got your back. You're good, but hear me out. In 2019, I was dating a female who had a 14-year-old son at the time. I think he was 15, and I broke it off with her. I tried to break it off with her. She went to the cops and said I was living with her. In the state of Alabama, that's illegal to live with a minor, even though blah blah blah. It really wasn't illegal. They just tried to make me try to tell them myself for something I didn't do. I was going to fight it, but then they kept telling me that I was going to go to prison for 20 years. I'm like, the fuck I am? No, sir. They're like, well, you want to take a plea bargain? What am I looking at? 2 years probation. Fucking right. Let's do it. Like, you don't even want to go to trial? Fucking fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, motherfucker. I know better. All right? There ain't no lawyer in the state of Alabama or in the fucking United States, period, can get me off. Period. Because
so we're back on the air?
Not yet. I was going to finish up this whole statement. I can go back on the air if y'all want me to.
Yeah.
But this is me being real, you know, and I took it. And everybody's like, well, you shouldn't have never taken it. Fucking crazy. Dude, they gave me a plea bargain when I was 23 years old of 2 misdemeanors, and I turned it down. Why would I turn down 2 misdemeanors if I was fucking innocent? I mean, guilty. I would have taken that shit and ran with it. Because a guilty person wants the quickest and easiest and the cheapest way out easily.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my lawyer tried to get me to do is, hey, man, I got you the best deal possible. I got you 2 misdemeanors. I looked at him and I was like, you're shitting me, right? He's like, nah, that's a great deal. I said, but it's not the best deal. He said, what's the best deal? I said, me fucking walking out of here with my fucking dignity and my self-respect and me going to prison for the rest of my fucking life for something I didn't do. Well, you got to prove 12 people wrong. I said, what do you mean? He said, you're guilty. He said, no matter how you think you feel, look at yourself in the mirror, you are guilty. In their eyes, you're guilty. You're not innocent. You're fucking guilty. He said, go look on any, and this is before I even started watching Law and Order SVU. He said, go watch a show of SVU. Go home and watch it. You think them jurors in that damn jury box, you gonna find that motherfucker innocent? No. They have to prove their innocence. It ain't the other way around, son. He said, you may think you're innocent, and you may be innocent. In their eyes, you're fucking guilty. No matter what you say, no matter what comes out of your mouth, you're guilty. You're a liar, you're a pedophile, and that's all you are to anybody else. He said, do you want to take the plea bargain? I said, fuck no. He said, why? I said, because I'm not guilty. He said, well, let's go walk by where they're sitting at and just walk by them like all triumphantly then. I said, you can do that. I'm not going to go do that. I said, what I'm going to go do is go sit back in there in the front and mind my motherfucking business. And I suggest you do the same because you're my lawyer. Well, they postponed the trial that day. And then the next time I went to trial, my dad got called in the conference room with us too. And he's like, look, I got a better deal this time. I said, cool. He said, I got you the 2 misdemeanors and no probation. No restitution, just 2 misdemeanors. But you had to sign up on the sex offender list for the rest of your life. You're out of your fucking mind. That's not a good deal.
Hell no.
That's a terrible deal. I said, you go back and tell the district attorney. I said, fuck no. He was like, I ain't gonna tell him that. I said, you can tell him I said, fuck no. I said, I'm not playing with my life like that. He said, don't you remember? I said, I went home and watched an SVU tape and I seen what you're saying. And you're God honestly true. You're 100% correct. No matter what I'm going to say to these people, they're not going to believe nothing I say. I said, but at least I'll go down the way I came with my fucking dignity and my fucking hard-earned right to tell the truth. They had pictures about shit. I didn't even have a clue what they were showing me. They were like, is this your car? I'm like, no, it looks like my car, but my car ain't that nice. But it's a picture of your car. I said, again, not my car, but that car looks very nice. Well, if it's the same model as your car, it's your car. I said, no, my model has a busted up windshield, missing rear view mirror. The wheels on it are all hubcaps. I don't have a nice dragon mural down the side of it. My car ain't lowered. I don't have nice wheels like that. And on top of all, my shit don't have neons. So that's your car. And I said, no. Well, was you here the night of this incident that happened? I said, no. Well, we got a statement right here that is documented, all typewritten, by the way, no handwriting at all whatsoever. Wrong date as well. Is this your handwriting? No, this is written in typewriter form, and I handed it to the judge. He looked at me and he said, yeah, you're right, it's typewriter form. And it had the wrong date, and it had my signature that had been like basically stolen from whatever document they could find and transfer over to a piece of paper. So again, I said no. Then they said, well, if it was you in that car and you did this, what do you think should happen to you? I said, I think I should go to jail. I think I should go to prison. So you admit you should go to prison? I said, no. What you just said is that if I was in that car and all these things that yes, you're saying to me that happened, then yes, I should go to prison. So you admit, I said, again, you're not listening to words I'm saying, but you just told me that you should go to prison. I said, no. I said, if I did those things. I said, I haven't done nothing that you're saying. So you didn't pull your cock out and put it in this little girl's mouth. I said, fuck no. And the jury started laughing. And the judge ordered me to calm down and not use vulgarity in his courtroom. I said, I apologize, Your Honor, but I said, but that's complete bullshit. And he said, no, one more outburst, I'm going to hold you in contempt. I said, I understand completely. I apologize. And I kept my mouth shut. And then he reverbed and went and said, he goes, well, what if it was your sister's and God did that to your sister? What would you want? I said, I want him to go to jail. I said, for actually forcing someone to do something like that is wrong. First of all. Second of all, making someone against their will is called rape. Well, this girl is 13 years old. I said, no, that girl is 16 years old. In the state of Alabama, that's legal. Well, now she's legal, but when it happened, because see, they put off my trial for 3 years. In 2006, I was found guilty of sodomy second degree. Also, I was found guilty of a misdemeanor, which later got thrown away. And I was ordered by the court to have, like I told him earlier, 10 years split one and 2 years probation. I served 134 days, 24 of those days in actual prison. Nobody fucked me. I did watch some people get fucked. Nobody fought me but one person. And after all those times, I was cool with almost every single person there because it's about respect there.
Mm-hmm.
And I earned everybody's respect. Hell, I held the tattoo machine. I don't have a tattoo on my fucking body. But I held the tattoo machine, and you know what people did? They came and borrowed it from me and gave me money for it, which in that term right there is they gave me snacks and other stuff like drinks and stuff. And I gave them the machine for days. And when they got done with it, I was the holder of the machine. It was a handmade prison tattoo machine. I held it. I held all the ink, and I held the tattoo machine. And the going rate was $20 a fucking night. And I held it for 22 of the 27 days I was there because that's how much respect I had. I'm not making shit up.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I was sent back to Mobile, Alabama from Montgomery, Alabama, from Kilby, I went to court the very next day. And in court, the judge says, I'm so sorry, son, but I'm letting you go today. Today's your last day in confinement. You're going to be free to go in the morning. 5 a.m., July 17th, 2006. I'm sorry, 2007. I was a free man. I was sentenced right then and there to go to court or correctional custody for probation for 2 years. I went my first day and talked to my probation officer. She was a hard-ass woman.
Mm-hmm.
She gave me 4 questions. Did you do it? Why did you do it? Do you know why you're here? And do you do drugs? Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. She said, you do drugs? I said, no, ma'am. She said, why did you say yes then? I said, I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm scared. She said, why are you scared? I said, I don't belong here. And when I said that, she said, yeah, you do. You're convicted felon, son. You're going to be here for 2 years. Do you not understand that? I said, yes, ma'am, I do. And 3 months go by, and they were doing a color code system. And every time your color came up, you were supposed to go down there and urinate in the cup. I've never done drugs. I have been around people that do drugs. I have insinuated that I do drugs around people. I admit that. I have gave false impressions that I do drugs whenever I was in high school because I wanted to fit in with the cool kids. Not going to lie. I did that.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to being honest, I told her I don't do drugs. And she didn't believe me, which I didn't mind. I took all the drug tests, passed every single one of them. She brought me back in her office. She said, you don't do drugs, do you? I said, no, ma'am. She said, do you drink? I said, no, ma'am. I said, if I drink, it's like a 6-pack, maybe a 12-pack a year, every 6 months, something like that. I don't drink very often. She said, you could just said no. I said, okay. She's like, well, I'm going to give you a polygraph test next week. I said, yes, ma'am. First polygraph test I passed. She was pissed at me. She couldn't believe it. I didn't know the results. 2 months later, all this happened in 3 months. The third month, I took my second polygraph test. She told me to get out of her office. I left, went and paid my dues and left. And I didn't have a job at this time. Well, I didn't have a job yet. Um, the 5th month I came in, man, I'm sorry, y'all, man. It's rough, dude. I promise you that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
But the 5th month I came in, I took another lie detector test. With the same guy, same test, same lady. And she literally told me, she said, never come back. And I said, why? And at this time I had a job and I was working with a guy who brought his kids there. I was changing oil at a place called American Lube Fest. I ain't afraid to admit what I did or nothing. And I told her, I said, hey, he has his kid, he brings her to work. And matter of fact, he was going to the same place I was going for probationary issues as well. His name was Anthony. Me and him had a couple of words crossed here and there, but we were always amicable and nice to one another because we respected one another. And to this day, I have no respect for Anthony. He found out he had diabetes working there with me. And she told me never to come back in her office and enjoy the rest of my life. And I asked her, may I ask the results of what I had? She said, you already know the results, son. I said, I'm guilty, right? She said, would I be letting you get off of probation a year and a half early if you were guilty? I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know how this works.
He was proud of you. Your probation officer was impressed.
And she said that you're not guilty. She said, you got rubbed raw. You're not guilty. She said, I'll show you every bit of this stuff. The only thing you're guilty of is saying you're guilty. And she showed me all the ups and downs and everything. And the guy came over to me and gave me a hug and told me to wipe my face off before I go out there so nobody sees me cry. I was 25, almost 26 years old. She did inform me, though, that I should go and continue my classes for being a sex offender, that I should go in there and try to help other people that are actual sex offenders and to know the ins and outs of what they did wrong. And I did. I served that whole 2-year sentence doing that, but I never paid another dime for anything. And whenever I was in there, they asked me to be the leader of that class because of everything that I went through. I couldn't get it overturned. I couldn't get an appeal. I went to one guy who was a lawyer, my ex-girlfriend at the time, whenever I was found guilty. She was my corner. She had 3 children. I'm not going to say her name because me and her broke up, and I think it's because of me being found guilty. Her brother was also a cop. She took me to this guy's office, and he says, are you guilty? I said, no. He said, are you half guilty? I said, of course. Everybody's half guilty of something. He said, so half of this is true? I said, no. He said, then why are you not fighting it? I said, why? So I can be let down again by the jury of my own peers? I said, I've lost faith in humanity. I have lost almost all of my friends. My lawyer actually had me go tell my friends that I did this fucking heinous thing that I didn't do. Told me to go do it, and I did. I went to my friends in front of them and I said, look, man, I got something to tell you. And it pained me to tell my friends that. I was kicked out of their house. And I'm like, dude. And I went back and told my lawyer, I was like, why would you make me do something like that? He said, that's how it's going to feel whenever you plead guilty. You know that, right? I said, I'm not pleading guilty. I don't want to feel like this. He said, okay, then go back and tell them you didn't do it. So I did. I went back and told the same friends I didn't do it. And they kept me at arm distance. They don't anymore because they know who the fuck I am.
Mm-hmm.
I've lived with a crime I didn't commit, and I still do. Whenever I was working at Diamond Championship Wrestling, the first thing I told the owner is, hey, man, I got a past. I didn't do the crime, but I'm going to tell you my story. And I just told y'all the same thing. He said, I don't care. I don't care. I was working for him during COVID. And when it came to time for us to go to the GCW New South show, he called me and told me that he couldn't make it. He'd been drinking all night, and his girlfriend left him for another guy, and he just don't want to go. Cool, man. You don't have to drive. You can just sit in the passenger seat. Everything's paid for. I ain't going. Okay, cool. Well, as everybody knows, I took my ex-old lady with me.
Oh.
And had a blast. I even tried to make things happen for Diamond Championship Wrestling. I literally tried to do everything I could to help that company out as much as I could.
Mm-hmm.
But then he demoted me from being commentator to doing this type of thing and doing a podcast. And I said, I'm cool. But then I started thinking about it, like, why am I going to do you a podcast when all you did was basically fuck me over, treat me like shit, didn't pay me after you told me you were going to pay me. And then on top of that, I'm supposed to be helping you even more? Fuck you. No, I'm good. I said, no, man, I don't think I'm going to do that for you, man. I think I'm going to go my own route and I'll do my own podcast my way. The very first podcast I did was completely me not trying to be a dickhead. Then they started talking shit about me. And they started just attacking my character and about my past. And then I dropped all the dominoes I could at the time. I still have more to drop. I just refuse to drop them. And I get why nobody wants to be involved in that drama. I get it, 100%. But at the same token, I'm not the first person who threw a stone either. I'm the first person to walk away from a fight. But whenever they started taking jabs at me and shots at me and ha-ha at me, then I started dropping dominoes. I started dropping real shit. Things about people that I only know. Like, for example, there's a story in Fairhope, Alabama that is legit truth. And I will go on record and say it to the day I die. The guy that called you out, Phil, and called you a cuck and all that shit, he had actual sexual relations with a 15-year-old girl. True story. But everybody says, oh, that never happened because he never was found guilty of it and he was never arrested. True story on that, too, because the Fairhope Police Department said if the girl didn't come forth, then there is no charges. So, again, there you go. There you have it, you know. And I didn't talk to the guy for years. And every time I talked to him, it was all nice and cool. And then I moved over here and I had my own apartment and I asked him to come over and stay with me for a little bit. And 2 weeks later, he moved back in with his mom and daddy. But in those 2 weeks, he already had sex with a 16-year-old and a 15-year-old in my apartment. I didn't know about the 15-year-old until she came over one day. And I was the only person.
How old is this guy?
He's a year or two younger than I am. And,
oh, my God.
And the only reason I knew about the 16-year-old, but I wasn't at the apartment at the time. But the 15-year-old I did not know about. And I wasn't at the apartment at the time either.
Jeez.
And,
Jesus Christ.
The only reason I knew about the 15-year-old was because of the fact that she came to the door when I'm fixing to get ready to go to work. She said, hey, is so-and-so here? And I said, no. Do I know you? She's like, no. No, me and him were just hanging out the other day, and I think I left my panties in your room. I said, excuse me?
The fuck?
I was like, there's not a bed in my room? She's like, yeah, I know. We laid down some towels and stuff. And I was like, huh, okay. So I let her go in my room, and sure enough, her panties were in my room. Thank God the cops wasn't coming in there, because I would have been arrested for that shit.
Jesus.
So,
Jesus fucking Christ.
So that dude and me, and I left that out. I didn't ever say anything about that part. But I went to his mom and daddy's house that weekend. And I said, what's up, dude? Something you want to tell me? I ain't got nothing to say to you. I said, you don't? And I said, what about that 15-year-old girl that was in my apartment? I don't know what you're talking about. I said, blue panties ring a bell? I don't know what you're talking about. I said, cool, play stupid if you want to, bro. And that was all I said about it. And as I was leaving, he's like, "Yeah, it's a good thing she probably got them out of there, huh?" I said, "What are you talking about, bro?" "Oh, nothing, bro. Just saying, it's a good thing she got them out of there, huh?" I was like, "Man, just I'm done talking to you, man. We're done. I'll never want to see you again." And for 7 years, I didn't talk to this guy. I seen him on Facebook, and I'm thinking, let bygones be bygones, be the bigger person, shake hands, move forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I did. And I went over to his house, tried to fix his car. I had it tore down. I was going to go back over the next weekend and fix it because when I went over there to fix it, it started getting dark and I didn't have all
So basically, he got with that 16-year-old.
15 and a 16-year-old. The 16-year-old was living up under us. We were on the second floor. She was staying up under us, and they don't know how we conned her in there to get anything from her. She was a good-looking girl. And when she turned 18, she left Alabama, and I don't blame her one fucking bit. Her dad was abusive to her sexually, other people as well. And the reason I know, because she told me, like legit told me, she's like, look, and she used to like hang out with, she hung out with not my little sister, but some of my little sister's friends. And that's the only reason I even knew that she lived in that whole complex as I did. And she knew I lived there because, again, people that know me knew my little sister. She's 8.5 years younger than me. Hence, I don't hang out with anybody that much younger than me. The only reason I know about these people is because of my little sister. I will speak that verbatimly forward and up, completely. But he took advantage of that situation. And people like that are, in my opinion, not good people. So
anyways, I hate to say, are we gonna back on the air pretty soon?
Yeah, I'll start this. I'll start it. My bad. Sorry about that, dude.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, no problem.
It's okay.
But yeah, I mean, I don't have I'm an open book, dude. Like I said, and whenever me and Nick Gage were talking, I talked a little bit about that. And like I said, I made the man cry a little bit. And I even told the owner of New South of everything that I was found guilty of. And I was like, look, the people at Diamond Championship Wrestling are going to try to out me and say this and that about me if I don't say it first. I said, here you go. I said, you probably already heard it from them anyway, but I'll go ahead and tell you too. I said, I have nothing to hide. I said, I'm the opposite of a person that done something like this and goes and tries to go, well, it was what it was, or, oh, I'm innocent and I don't have no proof. I'm innocent and have proof. However, it was just overlooked, and it was all, even the cop that was sitting there with the victim was coaching her what to say. My lawyer, I had to tell my lawyer to point it out to the judge, and the judge finally said, look, you do it one more time, you're tossed. So what he did then, instead of moving his mouth, he had like used different avenues of pencils and things and paper, just moving paper around, doing this and that with it. And I'm like, dude, that's still coaching. He's like, but he ain't moving his mouth, so it ain't really considered coaching. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like, I am sent up the river and didn't even do shit. And I've seen people that have done the same shit or worse shit and be found innocent because of who they know.
I had a buddy of mine go through some shit recently, and basically it was like women battery type of thing. But he what it was is that he's getting ready to go work. He just broke up with his girlfriend months ago. Found out her father died. He was kind of like sympathy towards her and everything. Reached out, said, "I'm sorry. My aunt got a card for you and everything." So she tries to come over. He's going to give her a card. She comes into the house, not invited. She comes into the house, so she starts talking, pouring her heart out, blah blah blah. He's like, I ain't gonna go into the whole thing, but it's all jaded stuff.
Right.
But it was like, all right, here. It's like, I'm sorry for everything that's going on, but I gotta get going. I gotta go to work. And it's like, then she starts going off as like, no, you gotta go fuck some bitches. No, I literally gotta go to work right now. And it's like, no, you're not. So blah blah blah. So she starts doing all the finger pointing thing, pokes him in the eye, and everything. He's, oh, you fucking bitch, and he shoves her. Then after that, she dials 911
He's
in
guilty.
his house. This is happening in his house.
He's guilty.
Yeah. So he's like, screw this, I'm going to work. And it's like he leaves, gets halfway down the street, forgot something, go back, then the cops are right there, arrested him.
100%. You return to the scene of the crime, buddy.
Yeah. And it's like, then a bunch of other stuff happened. It's like, and everything basically the lawyer and his lawyer and the prosecutor were like in cahoots and everything, trying to get like her the victory and everything. So yeah, it was like he just sent him up to the river. Basically, he had to go through counseling, probation. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that with my ex-girlfriend before this one. Me and my ex, we parted ways amicably. It was nothing ill towards me or her. I'm just in a hard spot right now, and I admit that. And
Yeah.
I'm easy to fly off the handle, like not violent, but anger, like real bad anger. I know I do, and I'm not saying I'm innocent on that part. But my ex-girlfriend before her, you might remember her, Josh. Her name was Jackie. I was always with her on the Correa Brothers comic book stuff, and I've been taking a break from that. But with her, me and her got into an argument, and I broke up with her. Excuse me. And so she grabbed herself by the throat with her own hands and squeezed, and then tossed herself on her bed where it would hurt her, and that way she could call 911. And I was standing right in front of her. She said, "I'm calling 911 because you threw me on the bed." And I was like, "You're fucking crazy." Fucking crazy. So the cops came, arrested me for domestic violence. I was found innocent of that. They threw that out of court. Then I went back to go get some of my stuff because I had a couple of things over at her house, over at her apartment. I went to go pick them up. And then the cops said that I was living there because I had stuff there. And I was like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me." So I was like, "This is bullshit." So I tried to fight at that, and that's whenever I didn't turn myself in. They came and picked me up at my job site the first time. They literally came and picked me up at my job site, and the guy goes, "Well, I'm not trying to get you fired." I was like, "You're not, but you're at my fucking job site. You're arresting me at my job. And you're saying you're not trying to get my job." I said, "I told you I would turn myself in at the end of the day." I said, "I'm a man of my fucking word." And I said, "You're up here jeopardizing my job. I've been here over 4 years. Actually, 3 years. I said, I've been here over three years. And you're trying to jeopardize my fucking job." "Well, I'll go in there and put in a good word in there for you." I said, "I don't need you to put in a fucking shit for me. Do what you're fucking gonna do." So they arrested me. Stayed I was out Sunday evening because I went to the judge that the next day, and I was out Sunday. They tried to keep me over there all weekend. No, I'm taking it back. I got released that Saturday, early that Saturday morning. I think it was like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. And I asked my dad, who came and got me, I said, "Can you take me by my job so I can tell them I'm out and I'll be here Monday morning?" He said, "Yeah." So I went to my job and I said, "Do I still have a job?" They're like, "Yeah." The cops were really cool about it. I said, "No, they're not." I said, "I know one of them. He used to sell drugs and everything. He got fired from from the actual job he had here in Saraland." I said, "He got fired from there for selling drugs." I said, "I do know that." And then they let him be in a detective, which I don't have a fucking clue how or why. I said, "But it's weird." But I said, "But if I have a job, I thank you all very much." And then I hugged them and I shook their hands and I left. And when I went back to work that Monday, they asked me if I wanted to be on night shift. I said 100%. Well, fast forward, 2020, this all happened in 2019. 2020, I get arrested the day before Christmas Eve. And I look at this son of a bitch. And I said, "Why am I being arrested?" "Oh, it's a formality." I said, "Nah. Why?" "Oh, your case got pushed up because it had enough. It's going to be indicted by the grand jury. So we're going to go ahead and push you up, and we're going to have to arrest you and get you arraigned again." I said, "No, you don't, man." I said, "All you have to do is let me do what I need to do and go to." "Well, I mean, we got to get you on fresh charges." What? So immediately I started making phone calls right then and there, like, hey, is this legit? Is this really happening? Oh yeah, they can do that. So I had to pay more money to get out of jail. Number one. Number two, I got indicted on the same charges I hadn't been to court on yet or had a trial on yet. Then COVID hit. Got pushed off until April of 2021. They asked if I wanted to take a plea bargain. I said, fuck yeah. Because I'm not going to be found guilty for something I didn't do again. Because me and track records and the cops don't equal good. You know, I've already learned my lesson. I don't fight the law because the law fucking wins. You know, I mean, that's just the way it is. Even if you're innocent, you're guilty, motherfucker, no matter what. Unless you have a lot of money and a lot of people on your side, you're going to be found guilty. And therefore, I learned a valuable lesson. And I did not go to trial. I did not do anything. I had a pro bono lawyer who gave me the best he could, 2 years probation, and I paid off everything on time, way ahead of time, and I asked to get off probation early. And then the judge sent me a reply back, well, you should have never done the crime. Fair enough, I guess. I was like, well, cool, whatever. So I stuck it out. April of 2023, I was released of all of my duties as far as being on probation. And January of 2023, I relinquished all of my duties and everything for Diamond Championship Wrestling. And therefore, everybody's like, well, you're nothing but this and that and yada, yada. I'm like, y'all don't know shit. And then there's a guy that wrestles for him who says he's a police officer and was sitting there talking shit to me on YouTube. And like he knew everything that happened and didn't have a fucking clue. And I'm like, you're making yourself look bad. No, you're looking bad. I'm like, you don't know the story. You're pointing fingers at someone that you don't know or have a fucking clue about. And I even told him, I said, I've seen you several times at several shows getting liquored up. We'll only have one drink. Yeah, 5th bottle of fucking vodka. And after that, some Crown Royal. After that, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Hell, you were called a pedophile by one of the guys I ripped their sign up. Yeah, I even said that too. Like, you need to take a step back and realize who the fuck you're talking to, because everything that was said against you, you're saying against me now. And I even defended you, and I defended everybody else that hit from no matter what. But you're sitting here hitting the pedophile button real quickly because that's all you have on me. And I said, but you don't know the story. The whole story and nothing but the story. I said, I have documents from the actual case. My ex-wife read them. We were good for a long time, even after she read them. And then whenever things started getting bad, she told everybody, oh, I think he's guilty. You would say that if you were no longer in love with the person you were supposed to be in love with. And on top of that, you were sleeping with a lot of people. But you were too. Was I? No. I slept with one person because I could not handle it no more, and I wanted to get even. Yes, it was a wrong decision I made. I admit that 100,000%, but I did make that decision.
Man, we got. I'm not against this, but we got way off topic, man.
Sorry, man.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
You know, but I can be honest. You know, like everything I'm saying is legit. Honestly, it's not a lie, and I don't have any quarrels of saying anything I did wrong in that aspect, because I've done a lot of things in my past that I'm guilty of, and this right here, what I was found guilty of in 2006. I take it as atonement. And I know that's a wrong way to look at things in certain aspects, but dude, I was not a good person growing up. I mean, literally, dude, you name a thing, I was bad about it. Like, there was a guy down the end of my road who I could not stand. And me and another guy took his motor and threw it in the river. Oops. You know, because he wouldn't fight me. And that's the way I grew up, man. If you had a problem with somebody, you fought them. That's the way I grew up. I don't know
Yeah.
about y'all, but that's how I grew up. And I might not have been the biggest guy on the block, but I was sure enough going to let you know I was fucking there. And
Okay.
so,
So what other happened in the news today of wrestling?
sorry, man. I do apologize, y'all. And I terribly do.
Hey, hey, you got it off your chest. You just need, sometimes you just need to talk about it.
Yeah, I guess. I really didn't want to talk about it during this podcast. I can promise y'all that.
I know, like
I blew his mind before you got on, Josh. Like I finished that whole spiel with us being live, and then you show up. You should have seen the look on Phil's face. It was like,
Holy shit!
like, what kind of bomb did I just walk into? What kind of pipe bomb did just get busted in my face? And what the fuck, you know? But I'm not gonna lie and say it didn't happen. It happened, and I'm living through it. And right now, before we go any further about the news and stuff, I'll get to that. I left my job at where I was working at, and because of me and management didn't see eye to eye, and I think it was because of me being found guilty of something I didn't do, and I had to take a plea bargain. But they were overlooking me for all the promotions, and every time I'd say something, they would just say, "Well, it ain't your time." So I left, and I was working for another company, and I thought I had a better job, and right now I'm unemployed, and it sucks because now there's a fresh felony on me, only in the state of Alabama, by the way. If I lived in Phil's state, I wouldn't have a felony on me. If I lived in your state, Josh, I wouldn't have a felony on me. But
That's just how Alabama is. No offense.
it's called the SORNA violation, Sex Offender Registration Notification Act. The only state in the lower 48 states has it is Alabama. And it's
I
bullshit.
mean, 50 states, you mean?
Well, yeah, 50, 48. I call it the lower Americans. Like, I don't consider Alaska and Hawaii a state, man. When have you ever seen somebody come down here from Alaska?
Who moves to Alaska?
That's your opinion.
When have you ever seen somebody come over here from Hawaii and go, you know what? I want to live here. I want to live here. I'm not living in Hawaii, but I want to live in Alabama. I came all the way from Hawaii to live in Alabama. That's what I did. I've never been to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why Kevin Von Erich is in Hawaii.
Exactly my point.
I
That's
mean, not living in Texas anymore.
My point taken. Just like people in Alaska. You're like, fuck, I'm good. I'm good up here.
He wanted to get away from all that trauma that he endured while he was living in Dallas.
100%.
And he took his kids with him and his family with him. And now they're all living happily in Hawaii.
Exactly my point. So why in the world would anybody from those two states come to America and live here?
Well, I can understand Alaska because 30 days without no. But then again, they lived there their entire life. They're used to the cold.
So again, when is the last time you've ever seen an Alaskan license plate here in the
once in a blue moon?
Once in a great while, I'll see Alaskan plate. I was like, how the fuck did you get here?
Where did you come from?
I've seen it here in Mississippi. Like here in Mississippi, it's like, how in the hell did you get all the way down here from Alaska?
But it's very few, far in between, and you guarantee, knowing the damn good well, they're not staying here forever.
They probably have relatives down here or something, families, But anyways, what is other news besides Vince McMahon?
Well,
Rampage is on or over with now.
I'm gonna watch it and the GCW pay-per-view, and also I heard, like I said, but other than that, though, did you hear some of the stuff that Vince McMahon said to her? Like, he basically said he would own her.
Yeah, he said that everything that she said was a lie.
Shit on her face.
He denied the allegations.
Oh, 100%.
You know what? It's like the steroid trial all over again. He denied those too.
Well, he was found innocent during the steroid trials.
Which, yeah, but I don't believe it one bit.
I don't either because, dude, like I said, I started watching some of these old WCW pay-per-views, early 90s, when Scott Steiner and Rick Steiner were tag teaming together as brothers. And Scott was just like he was in WWF, skinny old Scott. 95, 96, he started getting beefier and beefier. And 97,
He was
I didn't
juiced.
recognize him.
In
98,
98.
did not
Mhm.
recognize him, dude.
He-
And it wasn't a slow transformation like people are, oh man, that took years to do. You're fucking crazy. That shit was almost overnight how crazy it was. And
Both of them were pretty bulked up, ain't it?
Rick,
No, just Scott got really bulkier.
and then Buff Bagwell was jacked. Jacked upon jacked, dude. Like I have never seen. I've met Buff Bagwell several times here in Alabama. And every time I ask him about the steroids and stuff, he's like, hey, don't talk about that.
He's very hush hush about that.
Mm-hmm. Don't talk about that.
There's even going to be an episode of Dark Side of the Ring about Buff Bagwell too.
And I hope they actually talk about that, man, because I was 25, 26 years old asking questions like, why are you not no part of WWE no more? What happened? What? And I legitimately asked him, and all he said was, it was politics, man, and I don't want to get into it.
Well, he had a shitty ass match.
It was a match against him and Booker T, and Vince McMahon fired him because of that.
And then I literally asked Road Dogg about the same thing, and all he said was, all I can tell you, man, is that WWE went through some changes during that time. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, if you take a look at it, a lot of those guys didn't make it on the roster. He's talking about Vito, Johnny the Bull. He talked about Glacier. He talked about Jindrak and O'Hare. Because if you remember,
they got sent to OVW and everything.
Mm-hmm. He sent a lot of those wrestlers that were under contract at WCW back to training.
Because he thought they weren't
ready.
Developed.
And 95% of those washed out. Norman Smiley washed out. Who else washed out?
I thought he was a good wrestler.
Yeah, dude. He left there and went to TNA. A lot of those guys left and went to TNA. Mark Jindrak left and went to TNA. Sandman, Sabu, Raven. Because Raven was under contract.
He also wrestled in Ring of Honor too, if I'm correct. Especially when he had that dog collar match against CM Punk.
Yeah,
that was a damn good match.
Yeah.
Well, I can see Sandman because let's face it, he's not the typical technical wrestler that you think he is.
No, he's not. But then whenever ECW came back around, he hired a lot of those old ECW guys, Sandman, Dreamer. He hired RVD back. He hired Raven back. He hired Lil Guido. He hired Big Sal. He hired Bluey Meanie back. He hired Nova.
I still thought it was pretty funny when he formed a team with Goldust and became Blue Dust.
That was great.
That was hilarious.
It was great. I mean, dude, he hired all these people back, man, and then by 2008 they were all gone again.
Yeah, because they folded the ECW.
They're like, okay, it's not working. We're making ECW more sports entertainment.
And the last heavyweight champion, if I recall correctly, was Bobby Lashley.
It wasn't Bobby Lashley. It was someone else that lost to Christian Cage, if I'm correct.
Christian was the last title holder.
Yeah, until he lost it to someone else, and after that, the ECW championship was defunct.
I remember CM Punk holding it for a while. And I remember them bringing.
Yeah, then they made to that big silver belt when they went PG, and I'm just like, I hate that belt.
And then there was a Ric Flair versus Big Show match, an ECW rules match. Josh is looking it up on the computer.
I am. Come on, start up there.
And so yeah, I mean, here we are talking about ECW, WCW, or WWE. And there's another thing I want to talk about too during this time and era too. There's another person that we haven't mentioned a part of the scandals at all. Sonny's name was mentioned.
Really?
I don't know what for. I was trying to find it on Twitter to find out more about it, but I haven't found anything else about it.
Here's another thing I even found out. Apparently also wouldn't be surprised if Vince McMahon had. You know about how Christy Hemme got fired by Stephanie, right?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Apparently, it was Vince. Apparently, it was Vince that was sleeping with her, not Triple H.
Why am I not surprised, man?
She thought it was. Oh, Vince. That's basically she was one of the girls that Johnny Ace hired because she was hot.
Christian was the last ECW champion.
Wow, that's messed up.
Christian, Tommy Dreamer, and Ezekiel Jackson was the last three.
Ezekiel Jackson. Wow, that was a name that should have never been held a championship ever. God, I remember he had so much hype on him, and it was just god awful. I was never a fan of him.
I don't even know who the hell he is.
All right,
I don't remember him either.
big dude, big black guy. That's all you need to know. Big black guy, look like Bobby Lashley.
So that's who you got mixed up with.
Mm-hmm. So listen to this. Major news. Vince McMahon resigns from all roles of TKO. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com 3 hours ago. I wanted to inform you that Vince McMahon has returned his resignation from his positions as TKO Executive Chairman and on the TKO Board of Directors. He will no longer have a role with TKO Group Holdings or WWE. Nick Khan.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the wrestling, like I said, the wrestling world will heal from this,
Yeah.
And this right here is pretty savage. And they were talking about, the Slim Jim taking away their sponsorship. Vince is finally getting vanquished by Slim Jim. It's pretty tasty, not going to lie. Savage finally got his ass. Talking about Randy Savage.
I guess basically want to snap into a Slim Jim. Well, I have to say, though, this after all the things that Vince has done, karma's finally biting him in the ass.
In all honesty, he should have never came back. He should have just stayed gone. Dude, he should have just stayed gone. But that power hungry mentality, he wanted his stuff back, and he got it back, and now everything's coming to bite him in the ass. Everything's coming to bite him in the ass.
Plus, creative of WWE, he was a member of the board. Then someone in that company wanted him gone. It was obviously Nick Khan, Stephanie McMahon, and Triple H wanted him gone.
Mm-hmm.
And it says right here, there's a belief in WWE that Endeavor may sweep out anyone close to Vince McMahon and his remaining team in order to have a complete fresh start for the company going forward. There were employees who exited the company when Vince initially resigned who returned when he did.
Good riddance to them.
Yeah.
There were employees who exited the company when Vince initially resigned who returned when he forced his way back in. For those who have remained with WWE post-Endeavor purchase, the belief among those spoken with is their connection to McMahon may be a major negative going forward for their WWE status. Yeah. Wipe them all out. All of them.
This is...
What about Triple H? I mean, that's the ultimate...
Dunn's already gone,
Yeah, and they're saying they're going to start with his son-in-law.
Yeah, what about Triple H? I mean, that's the ultimate one, but then again,
he's doing so much good things.
He probably was the one helping digging dirt on him.
Well, that was the original guess. That was the original statement that they were saying that Triple H is trying to been for all of this going forward. But if he was with it all going forward, then why is he not coming out forward and saying, "Hey, I'm one of the reasons why he's gone." He's being silent. His daughter's being silent. His wife is being silent. Everyone is being completely hush-hush about everything. The only people that are not being hush-hush are the people that are coming out against him, former employees of the WWE. Hence, Shelly Martinez. Hence, I forget her name.
Maria Kanellis as well.
Maria Kanellis, Sable. Sable had an actual lawsuit in '99 filed against WWE.
I remember that too. I remember that happened.
Yeah, Ashley Massaro had an actual thing filed against the WWE whenever she was living. Who else had one? I think Ivory had one. I think Miss Cat, that was married to Jerry Lawler, had one.
Oh yeah, the Cat. I remember that too.
And I want to say that what's her name had one too. Not Candice Michelle, but Layla. Leia, the one that was with Michelle McCool. What was her name? Layla?
I don't remember.
The English,
Yeah,
pretty,
students. Yeah, I can't remember myself.
but y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
yeah.
Yeah, the real pretty black chick that was from England.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, yeah, I think she had one as well. And I want to say Tori Wilson may have had one. I'm not 100% sure on that.
I doubt it. She's a Hall of Famer.
I doubt it too. But I know China had one. And let's see who else had one. Lita had one.
She has a lot of reason to have one. I give her that.
She has 10 million reasons to have one, if you know what I'm saying.
Especially that live sex scene.
She spoke about that, dude. She was not happy with that at all. She was not happy with that at all.
Yeah. Then plus she had her tits exposed on TV, so
She was not happy.
I don't blame her.
Let's
That
see.
did not age. That segment did not age well.
Didn't Jackie Gata have one? I don't know if Jackie Gata had one. What about Gail Kim?
Oh, Gail Kim hates Vince.
That's what I'm saying. Didn't she have like a?
I wouldn't be surprised because I remember.
I know she had a grudge. I mean, she over there wants to wrestle, and then they put her in fucking nightgown matches. Yeah.
Well, apparently, what happened was like Vince didn't find her attractive at all because he never found Asian women attractive, which I find stupid. And he says like, and it was JR that tried to convince him about it that the fans won't like her.
It's not about attraction. Hell, we had Ashley Blake on here, and she even said that most men, and she was honest about it, like most men just find women attractive, and then boom, I like her, regardless if they can wrestle or not. True story. I mean, I've seen it happen whenever I was working for Diamond Championship Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
It happened.
I've seen it happen.
Oh, it even happened to. I mean, look at what's her name? Jazz from ECW.
Mm-hmm.
She got a lot of hate from a lot of guys because a lot of people didn't find her "quote unquote" attractive.
But she wasn't there to be attractive. She was there to work, dude.
She was there to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I thought she was a great wrestler.
Dude, she's a fantastic worker, man. Even Awesome Kong, her main
I love Awesome Kong,
and her gripe in WWE was that she was too big. That was
she was a wrestler.
Look at Nia Jax.
But Nia Jax says she's related to The Rock. That's different.
I call double standards.
You can call what you want, but it's the truth.
I know. I call it bullshit.
I mean, it's like, for example, if Stone Cold had his daughter working there, and same thing. You can say whatever.
Backstage politics. That's all it is.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, you think Brock Lesnar's daughter wants to be in the WWE tomorrow? She can be there. Fuck yeah.
I mean, look at Charlotte Flair. Same thing happened to her.
But the difference between Charlotte Flair is Charlotte Flair can fucking go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think she's overrated in my opinion.
She's not overrated. She just wants whatever she wants, and if it ain't catered to her the way she wants it, then she's not going to wrestle it. She's a diva, for fuck's sake. She can be a diva. Her daddy was a diva. He was the biggest diva in WCW. Bigger than Hulk Hogan.
I agree with you on
that. He got to wrestle Bret Hart first.
Oh yeah.
He got to wrestle everybody before Hulk Hogan. That was stipulated in his contract.
He even got to wrestle Sting before Hogan.
Bunches of times.
Well, he did that way before even Hogan was in the picture.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. But whenever Hogan came in, Ric Flair automatically renegotiated his contract. And that's not a rumor. Eric Bischoff has stated that. J.J. Dillon stated that. Hell, even Ric Flair himself stated it. He didn't want to have anything less than Hulk Hogan did.
Oh, yeah. I also found out how Nick Namath got into contact with New Japan Pro Wrestling. It was because of his former former colleague, his coworker, Shinsuke Nakamura.
100%. And
You gotta love Shinsuke Nakamura. Always is the man to go to if you want to go. If you're about to get released, like, hey Shinsuke, you're like, dude, Shinsuke, you're like, I can help you.
Matt Riddle, he got helped by Matt Riddle. Helped him. He got
Shinsuke helped Matt Riddle.
Yeah. And then take a look at this shit. What about the Mustafa Ali shit, dude? He March 28th in Wrestling Revolver in Dayton, Ohio. Rich Swann versus Mustafa Ali.
Ooh.
I saw that match he had at the last GCW event.
That was
that one you went to in Chicago. He killed it, man.
Dude.
Oh yeah.
Wrestler. Mansoor is wrestling at Effie's Big Gay Brunch tomorrow.
Oh hell yeah! And I even heard that that what's his name, Mason, is joining him as well.
I heard the same thing. I don't know how true that is. And dude, that Wrestling Revolver show last night in Dayton, Ohio was fucking lit.
Really?
Dude, there was a fucking four-way tag
match. New tag team champions last night as well.
That's what I was about to say. That four-way tag team match between the Grizzled Young Vets, Red, the Rascals, and Second Gear Crew. Holy fuck, dude!
Isn't what's his name in Second Gear Crew?
Who, Mance?
Mance Warner, Second Gear Crew.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's three of them. It's Mance Warner, Matthew Justice, and the one called Manders.
Oh man.
But the Second Gear Crew that tag match
one, you know, they deserve it after all the bullshit they went through in NXT.
Who?
The Grizzled Young Veterans.
Oh, dude, Grizzled Young Vets are insane, dude.
That was just bullshit the way they were repackaged as the dipshits.
Oh, for fucking Joe Gacy.
Yeah, when they would be part of a song, they were named after a Tool song.
Schism.
Yeah, it was just like
shitty.
Yeah.
Shitty.
More shit them.
All right, so I did not know, but Chase University is no longer Chase U on NXT. They took away all his shit. Even
Almost
the
like
fucking podium.
I even heard WWE is actually going more towards the sports, actually trying to involve more wrestling-like formations, you know, kind of balance it out with the sports entertainment.
They're going after gymnasts, they're going after track stars, and they're going after some athletes, not all athletes, like football players, basketball players, and baseball players.
They should go, or I even heard they're going more towards indie wrestlers still.
That's been nixed, man, because some of the indie wrestlers, and I'm going to be honest on this and say this as well, a lot of indie wrestlers already have problems, if you know what I'm saying. And I'm not talking about with the law, I'm talking about with drug uses. And they can't pass physicals and they can't pass drug tests.
So they're basically hiring, like excellent, Olympic rejects.
Kinda, yes.
Basic, yeah.
Jack Cartwheel is one of the exceptions. He doesn't use, I just call them PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. I've met the guy. I actually like Jack Cartwheel. He's young. Me and him talked at the last GCW New South show. My girl bought a shirt from him. I'm a big fan of Jack Cartwheel. I've always liked his work. I prefer his in-ring work over some of the top guys in NXT and some of the guys in SmackDown and Raw. Even some of the guys on AEW. And speaking of people in GCW, are y'all familiar with the rap artist Ritz by any chance?
Sounds familiar.
Sounds new. Sounds familiar, yeah.
If you ever seen Gringo Loco, he looks just like Ritz.
I've heard about that.
I posted that today. It's a true story. I was like, where do I seen this guy from? I bet they're the same person. They've never been in the same place at the same time. I guarantee.
And
he's Googling it. Look at him. He's Googling it. Like, I'm going to see Ritz and I'm going to look up Gringo Loco and see if he's telling the truth. I am.
No, I ain't Googling. I'm over here by the washing machine.
Other good news. I don't have to work till 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, so I can stay up a little late.
Okay, cool.
No, I got to be at work at 5, so.
Oh, yeah. I won't keep y'all long, I promise. But it kicked us off for the last like 25 minutes ago. It kicked us off, and it didn't save anything we were talking about. So I will say that ahead of time. So we've been
Okay.
21 minutes on this one. So, but yeah, I do apologize for going on my rant, and I totally agree. I totally agree. I totally understand. If y'all never want to do a podcast with me again, that would be. I would
No,
understand.
No, that's good, man.
it's all good.
But I wanted to be completely candid and honest. So therefore, nobody can ever hear me say that. Oh, he never told them that. Yeah, I did. It was probably at the most inopportune time and probably bad timing on my part, and I do apologize for that, gentlemen. I do. But
Well, I think the Vince McMahon scandal really brought out a lot of things.
it did, and to be honest, I'm not going to say he's guilty or innocent, but if there's more than one avenue of people talking about it, then it's probably a guilty verdict.
Did you read those fucking text messages? It sounded like Vince.
Dude,
I
they
even
all
pictured
came from
it
his
sounding
personal
like
cell
Vince's
phone.
voice in his deep. I
It's like-
it was not funny.
It's like you are my property. I want you to come over here and let me shit on your face.
Basically, yeah,
I
kind
can't
of,
even laugh at that because I feel bad for that girl, that woman.
Yeah.
dude.
I mean, like he even named sex toys after WWE wrestlers. I'm just
Honestly, as like I know we're not
So-
supposed to. Honestly, we're not. I know we're not supposed to plug them, but man, I heard coming home from work, my buddy sent me the link to Cornette's take on it. Man, was he ripping Vince McMahon up?
Dude, Corny
they were
is
laughing. I
legitimately had
I-
beef with Vince forever. And whenever
Who?
he let him be in the Hall of Fame, he gave him specific dialogue he could not use. He gave him specific shit he could say and specific shit he could not say. And the things he could not say, the very next night, he went on his podcast and said every bit of it. So, yeah.
Corny hates Vince.
Yeah, Cornette has every reason to bash any part of the WWE, Vince, anybody. If anybody does, it's him.
Especially Kevin Dunn.
Dude, why do you hate that man so much? His name hasn't even
don't
been
like him.
mentioned in any of this, but I agree with you. He is a fucking sketchy human being. However, he hasn't been mentioned yet. So you can't be throwing people in the mix that haven't been mentioned yet, Phil.
Yeah.
I just don't like the Beaver.
No one did, man. But he, and I agree. I think he's a stooge, just like Pat Patterson was a stooge, just like Gerald Briscoe was a stooge. And Kevin Dunn was probably the biggest one of them all. Even Jim Cornette has said it a million times. If Johnny Ace is part of it, so is Kevin Dunn. And if you have one, you have two, you have them all.
Yep.
And I agree with that statement. But however, he has not been mentioned yet. And I do believe if he ever does, he's going to be working against Vince McMahon because he's going to be probably one of the ones turning evidence against him.
I have nothing against Gerald Briscoe though. I don't think he's involved in that stuff.
Be like, I don't know. Like Mr. McMahon invited me up for Taco Tuesday at his.
I will say this too. Pat Patterson was also allegedly had sexual misconduct with female wrestlers, and he was openly gay. Okay, so
There's also a rumor saying that he had something with with one of the
ring guys. Yeah, I heard that too, but that was automatically thrown out too because his lover at the time, who I will not name, if you know, you know, because that's just the way it was and that's the way it should be, and I respect that. But
well, Pat Powers is dead anyway, and I'm not speaking all the dead, like you said.
no, me either, and that's why I'm not saying what I know because of what he said was during that same time when he was allegedly with that boy, which was actually a grown man. He was with his lover. Okay, he was with his actual lover at the time that these alleged crimes or alleged incidents happened, and he had proof of everything where he was at, and it all came back, and they were all thrown away, and that ring guy was let go. That was a true story, and he even said that on the Legends House as well, and he didn't even want to talk about it because it hurt him so bad that people would actually think less of him for that, and he had to fight for everything that he had because of all the adversity he had for being openly gay behind the scenes. And everybody knew he was openly gay, but whenever he announced him being openly gay on public television or on the network rather, that was a big relief for him. And I commend Pat Patterson for that. And because there are a lot of people in this world, and I know several of them that are actually closeted. And the reason I know certain things is because I was a security guard and I've seen certain things. And I never outed them for it. I never said anything bad about them for it.
Uh,
At the same token, be who you are and know who you are and own that shit.
Wow. Here's a quote. As of tonight, no member of the McMahon family is officially working for WWE for the first time ever, ending a run that dates back to the 1950s founding of Capital Wrestling by Jess and Vincent J. McMahon.
Yep. Vince McMahon Sr. or Jr. is no longer accompanied with WWE or TKO Holdings, and the only person close to ties with them is Paul Levesque.
Triple H.
And from what I understood, from what other people are saying, is that after probably after WrestleMania, he'll probably no longer be part of the WWE either.
who?
And if that's the case, AEW, look out.
Who's not gonna be part of the WWE after WrestleMania?
Triple H. That's rumor speculations. That's not
Triple H?
Yeah, that's not 100% accurate. That is just rumored and speculated.
Oh no, man! I think they'll probably fight to keep him.
They think he's doing a pretty good job, though.
Well, it ain't about that. Anybody closely related to Vince McMahon having that type of power, think about it.
It's a threat.
Think about it. Is it a risk worth taking for the reward you're going to receive, or is it not?
But what about The Rock, though?
The Rock is The Rock. He owns The Rock now in the WWE. Trademark The Rock by The Rock.
I'm glad he deserves that. That's it. He helped create that character. That's him. That's his alter ego.
I still remember whenever he did the whole NWO thing, whenever Hulk Hogan cornered him up in the back and goes, "Hey man, you're my son's favorite wrestler. Can I get a picture with you?" He's like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah.
He's like, "Wow, I want people to see what people see." And he goes, "What did you just say?" He's like, "Well," I goes, "No. Stop it right there." He goes, "You know what? Oh, Chico Razor Ramon, why don't you take that camera and shine it up all nice? And you, Big Daddy Cool, Diesel, take that camera and twist that sumbitch sideways. And you, Hulk Hogan, see all the prayers and all the vitamins, brother, and shove it all up all three of your candy asses." And he walked off. Great fucking promo.
That was just epic.
It was The Rock being The Rock. It was great. Because you can't.
So,
It's going through my collection. I just realized I had this.
Holy shit, is that the VHS tape?
I just think
Stranglemania Volume 1 with the Funker and Cactus Sack.
Yeah.
Cactus Sack is on there too? Yeah.
I have the original tape in my collection somewhere.
Dude,
But
it's the original VHS tape, huh?
Yep. Original VHS.
That thing right there is worth a couple $100 if you look on eBay. ECW Extreme
Championship Wrestling.
Dude, that shit's fucking hitting hard, man. Nothing
original ECW right there.
Yeah, the extreme evolution of ECW.
Or it's not where they edit in the WWE music into it.
They don't.
No, they keep all the original soundtrack in it.
Hell yeah.
That was before everybody did copyrights.
Yeah. I remember the very first time a copyright was used, and it was against ECW, and then that's whenever they hired Limp Bizkit and Napster and Korn, and who else did they have there? They had a lot of people there to come and support ECW. It was insane. It was literally insane. and Paul Heyman was supposed to pay these people a lot of money, and he fucking didn't pay them a dime.
Says yes, here's a check.
Yeah, he didn't do
Those
shit.
checks bounce like a bitch.
Dude, I can honestly say, how come Paul Heyman never was found guilty of fucking fraudulent charges on banks?
I think Vince helped him.
Think Vince paid them all off?
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, to get all the rights to the ECW name and library and all that.
I wonder how much money that was.
Probably not much.
That'd be a couple $100,000, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Probably.
But also Vince probably paid a lot of those stars off, you know, and after buying WCW, and you know, their stocks were up, and
Well, Dreamer to this day says he still has some ECW checks he never cashed. True story.
wow.
True story. And Taz has said he's still waiting on a check in the mail from Paul Heyman. He can continue to wait.
But I can see why they kept going back
Love
though, because they loved working ECW and everything. You
A
know,
lot of people did, man. A lot of people enjoyed working there.
they didn't care. I mean, the money. I know the money wasn't good, but I guess it was just something. I guess like I said, there was just something special about ECW. You know,
Uh-huh.
and
Like Bully Ray said, though, he said what was special about ECW, and it'll never be reproduced ever again, is because of the camaraderie, and they all wanted each other to succeed no matter what. And if they weren't working on the same page, then they were booted. And that's 100% true.
they were just, I don't know, like those guys were just, they all worked great together and everything. There was just this great chemistry in the ring. You know, they actually looked like they were having fun out there.
I totally agree with that statement.
Oh yeah.
I mean, think
I know
about
they're
it.
taking nasty bumps and everything, but even New Jack enjoyed it.
I mean, think about it. That's where Lance Storm cut his teeth at in America. You know, I mean, he cut his teeth, and
That's where he.
Well, a lot of people cut their teeth in.
That's how I was introduced to Lance Storm, was because of ECW.
the Impact players between him and Just Incredible were insane. He's not just the coolest. He's not just the baddest. He's just incredible.
I love Lance Storm. I mean, I even loved it when he created Team Canada over in
WCW.
yeah,
And he-
so
and
that
he-
was great.
And he held every fucking title.
And he turned him to the Canadian. He put the Canadian flag on him. It was hilarious.
And then he
And TNA.
no, that was in WCW. And on top
Was
of
it WCW? Okay.
and he also had Hacksaw Jim Duggan convert his citizenship over to be Canadian in WCW.
That was, and I thought it was funny when Sergeant AWOL took a giant 2x4, he was making fun of him, like, oh, when Misfits and Nitro were making fun of Team Canada.
Oh man, dude, that was great stuff, man. The Billionaires Club, and then you had
We're the Natural Born Thrillers.
Hey, I actually liked them, man. I actually liked them, dude. They had a lot of good guys in the Natural Born Thrillers. You had
They were young top guys and everything, you know.
Yeah, Chuck Palumbo. You had
Jim Draken O'Hara.
Yeah, you had them. You had Johnny the Bull. You had Mike.
I even like the young dragons with Jamie Son, Kaz
Hayashi, and Jimmy Wang Yang.
Jimmy Wang Yang. They were great. And Leia Meow.
Yes. Come on, Leia.
She was beautiful.
She was a very beautiful Asian lady. She was. I wonder what happened to her.
She still does stuff like, you know, like stuff at conventions at the ECW arena, you know, like shows up at like wrestling conventions.
I would love to get an autograph of her just to sit there and talk to her. That would be awesome.
That's another one where I think I got the tape. I got the tape for that.
Ballets in pro wrestling, you know. I think, guys,
we can hear you.
I just think WWE. I was mad that WWE. I'm surprised WWE didn't hire, but then again, this man didn't find Asian women attractive.
Well,
he's partial to blondes.
Very
Oh yeah,
pumped for the
I
blonde.
know Stacy Keebler,
Trish
Sable,
Stratus.
Tori Wilson,
Trish Stratus.
Stratus.
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Yeah, that's why we wanted Charlotte to win over Oscar, and I was pissed that she broke Oscar's streak.
Ashley
Yeah, that was
Massaro.
that was total bullshit.
Yes, Ashley Massaro too. Whenever she had her blonde hair.
I even had an issue of Playboy.
Who, Ashley's?
Yeah, and I also had Maria Kanellis as well.
I got hers.
That's a beautiful redhead.
Maria Kanellis is a beautiful woman, and
Agreed.
I'm sorry, I'm just sad that she had to go through all that bullshit in WWE.
Dude, she went through it twice.
Oh yeah, I did thought the DX segment where she said no way was pretty funny though.
Yeah, and I also like the fact
She actually found it quite funny too, you know, because she still laughs about that part.
yeah, and I do like the fact that not just her, but there was another woman that did the same thing, and that's Terry Runnels. You know that she hasn't said anything either.
Well, if I remember, Arn Anderson was the one that told her don't sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because I remember she was on the plane ride from hell.
Mm-hmm. She was 100%. She talked about her incidents on there whenever Dustin Rhodes was talking bad about her and all that stuff as well. And she candidly admitted everything that happened to what she saw. She didn't see everything, but she heard a lot.
Well, I remember Dustin was drunk and everything, and he was singing
A song to her. Yeah.
even though they were divorced at that time. And
Yeah,
I heard they're on good terms now.
I did too. And I love that about Dustin. I mean, back then, man, he had a lot of demons. And who didn't, you know? I mean, and he even stated here recently, you know, like all this turmoil and all this animosity between one company versus the other. Where is it coming from? Like, why is that there? It was the same way whenever WCW was around, if y'all remember correctly. Either you're on WCW bandwagon or you were the WWF.
I watched all three back in the day, man.
Oh yeah.
We could, because at the very tail end of ECW, they had a TV deal on TNN. But before all that happened, it was just the main two. And ECW didn't come around until 99 on Saturday nights at 7 or 8 p.m.
It was Friday
Shoot.
night.
You're lucky in your area. I had to wait up to midnight to watch that.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
You know, I got introduced because, well, I had a certain device that helped me able to watch the ECW pay-per-views.
You had a little box, didn't you?
Same where.
I'm not saying anything. Yeah, I did have a certain box that helped me watch all pay-per-views, including WCW and WWF, but back in the day.
You know what? My parents were so cheapskated. I only got to watch one pay-per-view growing up. One pay-per-view was Halloween Havoc 1998.
Ooh.
The worst pay-per-view to ever
I'm
watch.
sorry. Oh my God, I am sorry.
Is that the RoboCop one?
No. That was 98. Halloween Havoc 98. That was
The one that we didn't get to finish
the
the ending,
rematch between Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior.
that I didn't get to see the ending of.
Oh yeah, Goldberg versus DDP as well.
Yeah, but the main event was Hogan versus Warrior, and when it went off the air, it went off the air.
Yeah, they had.
Oh, that's right.
They had to show I remember they had to show the rematch and everything. However,
On
I
Monday
didn't
night
have that
for
problem.
free.
I saw the entire pay-per-view.
Yeah, it pissed me off so fucking bad, dude.
Oh, because
It
I think
was
it's because I had the
3.5
box.
hours.
That's why.
It was 3.5 fucking hours, and we only got to watch 3 hours.
I also didn't like that match between Sting and Bret Hart.
And nobody did, because it was after Bret Hart already had a concussion.
And I heard Sting was injured too.
And Sting wasn't at his best capacity. I wasn't going to go there, but yeah, true story. But also on Sting, dude, I was watching some old school Sting shit, like from 94, 95, 96. Do you know that son of a bitch took more risks than anybody else in that ring? He was a top maniac. He was a top.
I did like that match
crazy person.
between Rick and Scott Steiner, though. That was I thought it was funny when
Scott turned on him and put NWO on him.
Huh?
When Scott turned on him and put NWO on him.
No. It was a match between Scott No, that was super. That was like Super Bowl when that happened.
Fall Brawl.
I'm talking about when Scott and Rick wrestled against each other in '98, though.
Fall Brawl.
No, it's Halloween Havoc '98.
Fall Brawl. I watched
No, Halloween Havoc '98.
They also wrestled at Fall Brawl too.
Yeah, but then but Bagwell faked his injury.
Yeah.
And also the second in the Halloween Havoc one, he dressed up as Bill Clinton. He started yelling Monica.
I'm a big fan of Buff Bagwell, by the way. I really was.
He's hilarious. I even loved it when he made fun of when he had a feud with Scott. Sorry, he dressed up as the big doo-doo daddy.
Yeah, the big doo-doo daddy. And then you had the big gimp daddy. What they call him? They called him something else daddy too in WCW. When they
Buff
had
Bagwell was good at dressing up, doing impressions of other wrestlers. He was great at that. He was one of the best creative minds in the business.
Do you remember the
so
Bagwell on the pole match?
Yes.
Or what
Judy Bagwell on the
where
pole?
they put his mom Judy on that
On the forklift? Yeah, Judy Bagwell on the pole match. Yeah.
That was just no.
That's Vince Russo. Everything had to be on a pole. Even in TNA, whenever they started putting things on poles, I was like, what does Vince Russo have the thing for poles, man? Like, that's some kind of like.
Bro, they have to be on a pole.
Homoerotica bullshit.
We had too many ladder matches, bro, so we need to be on a pole, bro.
You know, in back in my days, where everything was on a pole. You know, like you had to go and get things off of a pole.
Bro, everything's on a pole, you know? And I sound like I belong on an episode of The Sopranos. I sound like Chris Soprano, bro.
Yeah, you sound like Christopher.
Well, even Vince Russo reminded me of Vince Russo.
Yeah, yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Well, they're both from New York. They both have that accent, and I can see.
But the Sopranos were good though.
Huh?
Sopranos was good though. Just saying. God rest pussy. He sleeps with the fishes. Hey!
Vince Russo. Oh my God. I
Disaster.
Now
that guy was a character. I mean, he came up with some of the crazy stuff. Remember, he came when Thrasher was oh my God, was injured, and Mosh was by himself, so they gave him that Harry Beaver package was Harry Beaver cleavage.
That was terrible. They packaged him as a mom and pop character from the 50s. That was god awful. That was so terrible. The worst gimmick that actual Vince Russo came up with, and you're probably going to disagree with this, but in my personal opinion, was Chavo Guerrero as a golf guy.
No, that wasn't actually in 2004. That was Vince's idea.
Was it? You don't think it was a ripoff of what Vince Russo did?
Vince Russo wasn't in that was around the 2000s when that was in the WWE though.
Vince Russo wasn't in WWE at that time.
Well, thank God. Whoever did. Well, Vince Russo's worst one then would have to be the Fat Chick Thriller.
Oh my God. I thought also that 70s guy as well.
Mike Awesome.
God rest in peace.
The Fat Chick Thriller.
Awesome. I'm gonna endure that because this guy's a former ECW champ,
but he ain't just an ECW champion, man. He's a legend in the business. I mean, he held titles in JPW. He held ECW titles. He
even did some stuff in FNW. I remember when he saved Sabu's ass from Yakuza, members of the Yakuzas.
From dying. They were going to
jump by the Yakuza.
They were going to kill Sabu. Literally murder him. Oh, yeah.
And they were intimidated by Mike Awesome.
When they see Mike pull up beside him, they're like, hey, I'm off the way.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, there was 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken. And Sabu talked about it. He said, I owe my life to Mike Awesome.
Mike Awesome was the shit. I'm glad Mike Awesome saved Sabu's ass.
Mike Awesome was underrated for a lot of things, man.
And he was awesome.
And
He
it
was
fucking
awesome for a reason. That's why I call him Mike Awesome.
every match he had in ECW was fucking epic. It was a 5-star match in my opinion.
Oh,
Even
I
the
love
match-
Mike Awesome. It was one of my
even-
favorites back in the day.
Even the very
Him
first
and Tanaka.
dude, the very first one night stand, that's what I was getting to. That was fucking epic.
I was so sad when
Honestly, the one night stand that was kind of that match, as good as it was still toned down to the stuff they did in actual ECW.
Well, I know.
I mean, shit, they beat the shit out of each other with chairs, man.
I remember when they went to, they called them the chair swinging freaks, which was Balls Mahoney and Axel Rotten together. And
Oh yeah,
that was,
Hey, Balls Mahoney, rest in peace too, man.
and yeah, 100%. And Axel too. Ain't Axel passed away too?
I don't know. Let me look it up.
I know Ian's still living, but barely. But I don't know about Axel.
Also, Perry Saturn, he's alive, but he's in pretty bad shape though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And dude, another person I would love to see him make a comeback, even if it's just to sign autographs and whatever, and that's Val Venus.
yeah.
Oh God.
Oh,
Wow, dude, he was one of my favorites, even though he was a mid card wrestler. To me, he was great.
ladies.
Say, I came.
The gimmick that got him over, you know.
Be like, I came, I saw, and I came again.
And he
Oh,
always,
the best sign is when they came to Chicago, they had someone had a big ass sign that says Val Venus penetrates Chicago.
that is awesome. Like, dude, that would have been great.
Oh yeah, I did. Oh yeah, I did remember. Like, there was one of those funny things, like when they were doing that something TV or something.
Oh yeah, the GTV.
Apparently, Val Venus was
GTV.
urinating right beside Big Show in the restroom, and he's like, and they call you the Big Show.
Yeah,
I know. Then he hit him. Then he knocked him out. And then he walking around. And then Big Show walks out, and he's like, I remember Jerry Lauder on commentary going like, he didn't even wash his hands.
he didn't wash his hands at all. What kind of sick monster does that? Yeah, I remember that, dude. And they always around the same time they had Tommy Dreamer eating stuff out of a urinal.
Blech.
Ugh.
And eating nasty stuff like jackass shit, dude, like doing Fear Factor shit for no reason. I'm extreme. No, thank you. Tommy Dreamer,
No.
had that moniker, my brother. You're that guy. And I talked to him several times because Diamond Championship Wrestling brought him down here a lot, and I talked to him a couple of times. Nice guy.
Cool.
Nice guy.
So who's gonna check out that GCW pay per view? That
It's happening now. It's on right now.
I'm probably gonna rewatch it later, you know, and also probably watch a little bit of Rampage as well.
I'm gonna play bypass on Rampage because they're talking about Chris Jericho on Twitter, and it's not good.
Oh, really?
But I can't wait to check out that CMLL wrestlers tomorrow night on Collision.
Let me double check that. Clem Cornette's trending #1 on Twitter.
You know, it's probably about Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Everything's about Vince.
I'm telling you, man, you gotta watch his rant on that. It's freaking hilarious. But
I watched a little bit earlier before we went on the air and everything.
Uh-oh.
It was Brian Last. He was laughing about.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Guess who's at the NJPW dojo right now? Or it was 5 hours ago?
Who?
Viperous.
who?
Yeah.
Viperous.
I think that was thanks to Viva Van.
Is Vipers is at NJPW dojo. New Japan Pro Wrestling dojo. New Japan Pro Wrestling is going well. Is going swell. Abs loading. 5 hours ago for Vipers.
She's at the LA dojo.
I don't know if it's LA dojo. It says NJPW dojo is all it says. It's
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. She's at the. I think she's at the one in LA. I think.
okay. Missy Hyatt. Wow. She's going on the I Am Jericho cruise.
Okay.
And she still looks amazing.
Everybody's getting laid.
She looks amazing, to be honest with you. As old as that lady is, she is amazing. and the virtuosa Masha Slamovich. What was they talking about here?
Yeah, it's at the LA Dojo.
Yeah, this stupid motherfucker here is ripping up a Chris Jericho shirt, and he's got a John Cena shirt on, and it's taking 20 minutes to rip up a Jericho shirt. Let's see if y'all can hear him. Hold on, let me rewind this. See if y'all can hear it.
And Black Dahlia is getting training and everything.
Fuck you, Jericho and the Young Bucks. You fucking rapist. And he's ripping his shirt. And he hates that scene. Can y'all hear that?
No, I don't hear, but I'll take your word for it.
And he throws it in the trash. And then he grabs a bottle of Sunkist, the orange soda. Well, fuck you, Jericho. And he dumps a bottle of Sunkist onto the shirt. And says, fuck you, pieces of shit. Throws it back in the trash with orange soda on it. And that's it.
I still can't believe they're blaming Jericho for something he hasn't. That's not even proven.
They're just idiots. That's all they are.
Wow. This lady Viper says, "Hey, remember how I was first row for this match and watching my future boo whenever it was Rhea Ripley and Mercedes Martinez in a cage match?
Mm-hmm.
That was a really good cage match. That was War Games, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was the first War Games, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rhea Ripley versus Mercedes Martinez.
Mercedes Martinez is a great wrestler.
Dude, she is so underrated, in my opinion.
I mean, if I'm correct, it was actually Booker T recommended Tony Khan to hire her.
I thought she recommended Triple H to hire in NXT.
Yeah, but also but he also was glad that Tony Khan hired her.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He's like because Booker T trained Mercedes Martinez.
Yeah, dude.
He also trained Athena.
Yeah, and Roxanne Perez.
Yep.
I remember when she became Ring of Honor the inaugural Ring of Honor Women's Champion. I remember that pay-per-view. She was in that tournament with a lot of great women, especially. I mean, that's how I got introduced to Maxie and Paylor.
Yeah.
I even got introduced to Miranda Alizé, the Lucha baddie.
Yeah.
She's good too. She was also trained by Booker T.
That is crazy, man. I can't believe that Slim Jim pulled everything. Billy Starks.
Billy Starks what?
She just posted something on Twitter. Next Wednesday, Taya Valkyrie and Deonna Purrazzo in New Orleans on Dynamite. That's gonna be epic.
Oh man, I want to go to that.
Oh, dude. I'm so over this. There is a still image, it's a cartoon image of Vince McMahon looking at a bunch of dildos.
I saw that too.
Oh.
They all look like female wrestlers' attire. One of them looks like Nikki Bella. One of them looks like Natalya Neidhart.
Oh.
Holy shit. You know who we have to thank for getting CMLL to work with AEW? Rocky Romero.
Oh, Rocky's awesome, dude. I love
He's
Rocky.
like the ambassador for New Japan Pro Wrestling and CMLL, like the American ambassador for those companies. He said Rocky Romero was able to bridge the gap between AEW and NJPW when Meiji was hell-bent on making sure there would never be a relationship. Told CMLL that AEW is a trustworthy and fruitful partner to have and does an amazing job booking the strong shows. The pro wrestling landscape would look completely different without Asuka's influence, and he needs to be regularly given his flowers. I see. Go. That's Rocky Romero for you. He's I just love something about him. He's a treasure to pro wrestling, in my opinion.
Mhm. Oh man,
I even love some of the matches he had back when him and Trent Beretta were in Roppongi Vice in Japan.
Yeah. You know who I miss? Leva Bates. Old Blue Pants.
she quit not too. Was it about a year ago? Ain't it? Or not? She got quit. She didn't renew her contract or anything.
Right. With
Oh,
everybody.
this is another good news. Good nights. Apparently, both both Asuka and Kyrie are now the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions
When did this happen?
tonight on SmackDown.
What happened?
I've been talking with you guys. So
What happened? Talk to me. Hello? What happened?
Asuka and Kyrie are now once again the two-time WWE Tag Team Champions. Kabuki Warriors are now the Tag Team Champions, Women's Tag Team Champions again.
They beat Chance and Carter?
Yep. So not only does Io Sky, I'm still used to call her Io Shirai, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, the WWE Women's Championship, but also, I mean, Damage Control is now owns a lot of gold now.
3 titles, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
damn.
That's just the Joshi supremacy right there, man. I just think the WWE is better booking their Joshis better than their men's Japanese wrestlers.
I love this Mercedes Martinez quote. The question isn't who is going to let me, it's who is going to stop me.
She's a baddie. That's what I loved about Mercedes Martinez.
Badass lady, dude.
Oh man, those Puerto Rican wrestlers are badass.
I thought she was Mexican.
No, she's Puerto Rican.
Oh, she's Puerto Rican. Ain't she dating Braun Strowman?
No, she's dating.
She's a lesbian, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm about to say, dude, she's dating a woman. Oh, guess where Willow Nightingale is?
Where?
4 hours ago. I'm sorry, no, I'm lying to you. Alex Garcia. Guess where she's at?
Where?
New Japan Pro Wrestling Dojo. As of 4 hours ago. 1 week down, it said.
A lot of these women want to wrestle these Stardom ladies. If you look at like Megan Bain, she just came back from a tour in Stardom.
Nyla Rose.
A lot of these women are hungry. They want to learn some of that Japanese strong style. Especially Viva Van. Look at her. It made her. I even said, "How is the new NJPW training going?" She says it's helped my cardio a lot and made me a lot stronger too.
DDP was part of Ice Train's DDP yoga class.
The ice training?
Yeah. He just released something on Twitter.
Where they jump in the ice, that pile of ice and everything?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
That cold are you talking about that cold sponge challenge going on?
No, I don't know. This was years ago, I think. But this hour is completely ended. And I think we're going to start and end in like 15 minutes, if that's cool with you, gentlemen.
That's cool.
Yeah, my phone's about to die anyways. So.
Yeah, I figured as much. I'll put that on there. Call that done. And then one more again. And then poof. We are now live again, gentlemen. So,
Hey!
yeah.
Yay!
But we've been on YouTube the whole entire time live.
Just talking shit.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I dropped a real big bomb on everybody here, and I guess it's my pipe bomb, and I apologize. And
then the Vince McMahon bomb, and
yeah, a bunch of other shit that we talked about as well. You know, and I'm like I said, this whole it ain't just the Vince McMahon thing, man. It's about if he's. All I can say is, I hope everything comes out in the end, and if everything is 100% god awful truth, and I hate to say that, if it is all true, I hope the man gets his just deserves. I know he's up in age, and I get that, but still, what you've done for your whole life, and you don't pay any penance for, makes you a shitty human being. No matter what you started, no matter what you had, it makes you a shitty human being. And for people like that get told on for stuff that they think that they should be told on for, and it's not true, and they go their whole lives paying for something that they should not pay for, those people I feel sorry for. Hell, I'm one of you. And, but I can honestly say that it gets better, or at least I'm trying to make it get better. I fight every day. Dude, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I feel like giving up most of the days I wake up here lately. But I fight, and depression is a motherfucker. It's real. It's there. You notice lately I had a big beard on my face, and that was negligence of me being depressed and not caring and putting on a smile, putting on the best face I could, putting my best foot forward every single day. And I don't hide anything that I've ever done. And I don't, and I wouldn't say I'm innocent for something I did do. I've done a lot of wrong shit in my life. And everybody has done wrong. That one old person on this God's green earth has done anything that they were like, oh, I've never done that. It may not be to the dilemma of stealing or murder or robbing or sexual deviance, but you've done something you're not proud of and you don't want nobody knowing. Hell, I've done a lot. But when I got found guilty of, I didn't do, but I paid my penance for stuff I did. And I even told that to a lot of people, and people are like, no, you just got shitted on. Well, true, but the way I look at life, karma's a motherfucker. You can try to avoid it as long as you can. If you don't get hurt for something you did do, you're going to get hurt for something you didn't. And there's no way around that. And I am living proof of that. And my living proof now, and I've told this to everybody and anybody who listens, I vow to the day I die to prove the world wrong about me. No matter what, no matter how, I will make sure that I go down as someone that did not do what they say I did. If that means devoting my life to give back to every charity for kids and violent people, so be it. If that means going to every single meeting I can to pick people who have done wrong shit to people, turn a new leaf, then so be it. But as me being a human being on the face of this earth, the only thing I can do for other people is tell people to quit being shitty to other people. But there's, and like I said this past the Tuesday night, I don't want to fight with Tommy Wedgen no more. I legitimately don't. I mean, I want to physically fight him, yes. But as far as him splatting words and slander across my face and about me, I don't care anymore. But, that's all I can say about that part. But other than that, I have no ill will towards anyone, except people that cause me ill will or try to do me harm. Just hope and pray to God I don't have nothing on you. But that's all I can say. Because if I do and you spill shit about me that ain't true, I'm going to spill shit that is true, and you're not going to like me very much, and you will block me, and you will hate me, and you will talk shit about me to the day I die. But whenever you see me, you will run the other direction, because I'm looking for you now, not to talk to you and, oh man, you shouldn't have did what you did. Now it's put up or shut up. And I know that's the wrong attitude to have, and I know that's going to probably land me in jail more times than none. But it's just my mentality, and I know that's the wrong way of thinking. But
yeah, you're a Gen Xer. It's all right.
Huh?
You're a Gen Xer. It's all right.
Yeah.
So what do we all think?
So, I mean, yeah, that's the way I was brought up, dude. I fought every day of my life from the age of 8 years old until 16. Hell, I got into a fight at school that I didn't even start. And I broke a dude's arm because 4 of them jumped me, and he went to the hospital. And then the next day at school, I went up to him, and everybody's like, dude, you already broke his arm. I was like, how? I didn't. He hit me, and he broke his arm. And I didn't get fazed by it. So then he had other people who try to take me out. And I'm like, so, I fought every fucking day. I'm not going to lie to you and say I didn't. I did. And the people I fought, they knew I was there. I mean, I know what you mean, man. And I didn't.
Dude, I've been bullied a lot too when I was a kid. like a couple of years ago, I just found out I have autism and everything, and I started to see. But there's sometimes where it made me where I'm socially awkward. Sometimes where I made people annoyed or feel uncomfortable because my social skills were fucked up when I was. It caused me to have depression. I got in a lot of fights. I got made fun of a lot, and well, being a kid growing up in the '90s, you into fights with a lot of assholes and everything.
Mm. Hey, I had to fight too, man. I was like, I'm a. Let's see. I was a nerdy metalhead in the ghetto, going to high school, man. So yeah, I had to fight, man. I had to fight, and plus I also have had ADHD, and I was hyperactive as a kid, so I was put on drugs that kind of fucked me up,
You're still hyperactive. We can tell. Don't lie.
Oh no! Trust me. The way I am now, I am so dialed down from what I was a kid. I'm like, shoot, they had to peel me off the wall.
Damn, dude, that's crazy. I had a friend of mine. He's probably gonna get pissed at me for telling this story about him, but I am anyway. I don't care.
Here's some Janelle Grant's comments on Vince McMahon's resignation. Ann Callis, who is the attorney representing former WWE employee Janelle Grant, in her lawsuit against Vince McMahon, issued the following statement on behalf of Grant to the New York Post regarding McMahon's resignation from TKO orders. She hopes any doors of secrecy have been blown off their hinges. She hopes to those at the company, past, present, who fear speaking out about harm thing of the past. She wishes them all peace.
And there's been a lot of women to say stuff. There's been a lot of women to say stuff in the past and in the present, and probably going to be in the future. And just like AEW, everybody's like, well, all their stuff is already out in the open. Yeah.
No, it's not.
But everything out in the open from AEW was physical altercations between men and women.
Mm-hmm.
And women, because Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa, that was...
Yeah, she accused Thunder Rosa of sandbagging, I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and not only that, then he also had the Britt Baker bunny situation.
Yeah, apparently she basically was using backstage politics to get her way, for what I've heard.
Who, Britt Baker?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that's why Bunny's not working there anymore.
Well, she also has her own OnlyFans too.
Really?
She's probably making more money off that than she is in AEW. Same with Mandy Rose.
Man, dude, I love Mandy. I met her once at the Gainesville show in NXT. Nice lady. I even took a picture with her, and I got
she's
photos.
Like a very down to earth person. I even love what she did for Roxanne. She basically held the NXT Women's Championship really guard, and I like how she passed it down unselfishly.
She had to, man. That's the right thing to do, bro. It really
She's
is.
very humble, like the way she did that and everything. I was so bad that she beat the NXT Women's Champion Suzuki's girlfriend. I forgot her name.
Minoru Suzuki, the angry grandpa.
Yeah, his girlfriend. That was the NXT UK Women's Champion.
I don't know.
I'll look her up.
He was dating. Yeah, look her up while you're talking.
Miko Sakamura.
She wrestled for NXT?
Miko Sakamura was the NXT UK Women's Championship, and Mandy Rose beat Miko Sakamura.
Okay.
Yeah, she did. And they unified the championship.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was kind of upset.
So what about her? Whatever happened to her?
I'm a Jap. Well, you know me.
You're the guru. Yeah, of course I know what you mean. But did they release?
I was upset about that, because it just showed. Because this was to me, because Miko Sakamura has way more experience than Mandy, and nothing to get Mandy at all,
But now the question I have to ask you is: did they release Sakamura?
No, they didn't.
Is she still?
I haven't seen her in quite a while. She's been in. I think she's been spent most of her time in catering.
Sad.
Wow.
And look at the Good Brothers. They came back to WWE. Now they're just sitting back and catering.
From what I understand about that whole situation is that they have legit beef with other people inside the locker room.
CM Punk.
I'm not saying nothing, man, but
Well,
he's not the only
obviously,
one.
it was the Good Brothers said we stand with the elite.
A lot of people said that too, and I don't know, man. I really don't know how to take it.
It's some petty ass shit, man. It is some petty ass shit.
It is, but put it like this though, Josh. Like your homeboys, like you dudes.
They're Bullet Club for life.
Besides that, now hear me out. Like you and your homeboys are good to go, and then all of a sudden they go work at another company, and then this other dude comes working with you, and you and him had beef. Y'all parted ways and non amicably at all. Like he left because you and him got into it, almost fist fighting, possibly a fist fight that nobody knew about. He leaves and goes over there to your homeboys, and you and your homeboys talk daily. You think your homeboys will be cool with him?
Mm.
That's the same aspect I'm saying about this whole situation, because Christopher Daniels is really, really tight with AJ Styles. Number one, that's a foremost given. That's 100% given.
Oh, they were homeboys back from when they were both in Ring of Honor and TNA.
They also wrestle for another company that nobody knows about called the CWF, the Christian Wrestling Federation.
Oh yeah, and also let's see. Also heard Christopher Daniels wrestling Curry Man.
Mm-hmm. He wrestled.
And we all know he was the original Curry Man.
Yeah, he was the original Curry Man. So, and from what I understand, I think it was Frankie Kazarian as Curry Man and him wrestling Frankie Kazarian as Curry Man.
Oh my God, Frank Kazarian wrestling as Curry Man? That's awesome.
But if Christopher Daniels is wrestling Curry Man, that's who it is. It was Low Ki once too, because him and Low Ki changed Suicide once upon a time as well.
Now Low Ki wrestles in House of Glory,
and he's their champion, if I'm not mistaken, or was their champion.
Yeah, he has. I heard he's like really hard to work with. That's only why he wrestles in House of Glory.
He works very stiff, man. He works hardcore, but
like he's very difficult to work with other companies. A lot of companies won't hire him because he's difficult to work with. For what I've read.
The reason.
But getting off topic is like, how much longer is this CM Punk beef gonna last? I mean, you got Cody Rhodes going. There's going to be an eventual match between Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. I mean, the writing's on the wall.
Well, you heard the interview. You heard the promo against one another. We're going to be friends, right? And then Cody Rhodes didn't even look at him when he said the word friends. He was looking at the audience. Like he didn't even acknowledge CM Punk being there, except when he says, "I'm seeing more CM Punk than you are." That's when he looked at CM Punk. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like you said, the writing is on the wall there, and I think they're trying to make that more of a match, more so to get it off of the Seth Rollins thing, because Seth Rollins really does not want to face CM Punk. He's
also, let's see, The Rock is facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
That's a given.
Yeah.
And it makes more sense because Cody Rhodes can actually. I don't want to say
finish the fucking story.
That ain't gonna happen.
I'm gonna say it's gonna go down like this. It's Rollins is injured, so he's gonna have to drop the title soon.
But he said that the doctor said that he could possibly make it back by WrestleMania.
Possibly. I'm gonna say this. This is how it's gonna go down. It's like I'm gonna say CM Punk wins the Rumble. But somehow, some way, it's going to be a triple threat match: Rollins, Cody, and Punk. There's no way around it. And I'll call it like this: as much as I would like to see CM Punk win it, I think he'll go. I don't think Punk will let Rollins pin him. I think Cody will pin CM Punk and Rhodes will become champion.
I don't even think CM Punk's gonna get pinned. I think it's gonna be Rhodes versus Rollins in the pin situation. I don't think CM
Huh?
Punk gets pinned. I don't think CM Punk gets pinned at all. I think it's going to be Rollins getting pinned by Cody, and then at the end of the match or the next night on Raw or the day after WrestleMania, or whatever, you're going to have CM Punk grab a microphone and goes, "Yeah, you won the title, but you didn't pin me." And that's going to set up a big feud for SummerSlam.
That could be too. That could be too.
And that's the only way I see that happening. The other scenario I see happening is this, and this is crazy as fuck. Neither one of them win. Gunther wins, and then he challenges Rollins, wins the title, drops the Intercontinental title, and then there's a tournament for the title, and the finals come down to Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk.
Ooh, that'd be a good one too. I see Gunther winning it too. I see Gunther winning it too.
Yeah, and or the Miz. My pick is y'all can laugh all, but what if it happens to come out that the Miz wins the Rumble?
Miz ain't doing it, man.
Name another person that needs it.
Shoot, the Miz is nothing but the breaker of newbies.
Name another person that needs it. You gonna give it a Dom Dom?
Hell no. He's
Okay,
not ready
then.
for that.
Okay,
He's
then.
not. No, he's not ready. But you know what? That he gets awesome heat. I'll admit that he gets some awesome heat. But
if he wins
but-
the Rumble, there will be people throwing crap at the ring. I can promise you that.
Okay.
oh yeah, that'd be old WCW times right there.
All right, here goes another thing then. The next person I think that should win it, you know, probably going to hate me for this one too, is Jey Uso.
I can see it.
More so than The Miz? You're crazy.
Miz, how long has the Miz been gone? He's got to be 20 years in now, ain't it?
Close, yeah.
Yeah, way over that.
Because one of that real
It was
world.
it was one of the. I think it was in the third season of Tough Enough, if I'm correct, or fourth.
Yeah, it's around there. Because I remember when he came out in the real world, and a couple years later he did Tough Enough.
Yeah.
Then he started in ECW, ain't it? The second iteration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what he said. He said he owes his career to the second iteration of ECW.
No. He was WWE champion whenever ECW was around. He beat John Cena.
No,
it wasn't.
No. He started out because there was no NXT and everything. It was just Tough Enough. Then there was no NXT at the time or anything.
He became WWE champion in 2011.
Yeah.
WWE defunct.
Yeah, so it was he started out in ECW.
Huh.
The WWE ECW.
Yeah, God. That was the worst one. Dude, I had front row tickets in Mobile, Alabama whenever the Sandman came across my lap and I was behind the Sandman. I couldn't go to my seat. I literally got to my seat and my buddy that was sitting beside me, he goes, "Dude, you just missed the Sandman." I said, "No, I didn't. I was behind him." He goes, "You missed the Sandman. I'm gonna tell everybody that." I was like, "You bastard!" And the way it was set up, the way the front row was set up, we were on like the ring is sitting in the very center. We were behind a pole on the front row, and you really had to like look around the pole to see the ring. That's how shitty of the seats we had on front row.
Wow.
I had second row to ECW in Gary, Indiana. And my buddy, the Sandman came out and everything, doing his beer thing, and my buddy was right there. He popped over the can, and basically dumped a whole can of beer on his head.
Hell yeah! So that was whenever ECW was on Sci-Fi, whenever that was going on, because it went on. What happened was SmackDown. It was a SmackDown taping, and after the SmackDown taping, they did the ECW live show.
Mm-hmm.
And the ECW live show went live at 9 p.m. Trash. And then we were on SmackDown that next week. And then I did one TV taping of NXT, and I've been to one TV taping of Ring of Honor. And I was second row for Ring of Honor, and I was in the bleachers for NXT. and I chanted at Bull Dempsey that Rhino's better. And the next time I was already at home, but the next TV tapings, Rhino showed up and beat the shit out of Bull Dempsey. And I was like, huh, I called it. You know, it was like, that happened. So, yeah, it was kind of crazy. But, yeah. Anyway, way off topic.
Oh
So-
yeah, but there is some good news that happened today. Today, Willow Nightingale really just turned 30 today.
Happy birthday, Willow Nightingale.
Happy birthday,
Hey,
Willow
happy
Nightingale.
birthday.
She reached their 30th year milestone, and just keep smiling, girl. We love you.
Yes, you're an amazing wrestler, and you continue to put smiles on people's faces every time you come out to the ring. And
Her and Wakana Uhura know how to put on smiles. Because I even told Wakana Uhura from TJPW she should have a match called Battle of the Smiles between her and Willow Nightingale.
you know what, though, man? What do y'all think about the whole deal between her and Chris and what's his name? What's the little dude's name in Ring of Honor that's trying to get Chris to come with him? What is his name?
Chris Hill.
Chris Statlander.
Oh
Okay.
no.
The little black dude with the bald head, little bitty small guy.
Stokely Hathaway.
Stokely Hathaway. Okay.
Mm.
I want that to go away. I want that whole beef to go away and him manage both of them as a tag team.
I don't get it myself. I was like, sometimes like I was like,
Stokely is
man,
the guy-
Tony Khan needs to hire
Stokely
some writers.
Stokely is the type of guy that likes to stir the pot. Well, his character is, you know, he's always been kind of a sleazy man, one of those sleazy type managers.
Yes. And he's also, is he openly gay or is he?
I don't know. I don't care.
Me either, but I like the guy. I think the guy is really, really cool.
He's a
He
great,
wears-
he's a
he wears
great
some-
manager.
He wears some really cool clothes, man. Some real flashy clothes. Like the suit he wore at Final Battle was amazing. The suit he wore at what was it? Full Gear was amazing. Which one happened in January? What pay-per-view was that?
I don't know.
January,
Yeah.
and
Oh, at the end. No,
that
it was
was
World's End. I'm sorry.
World's End. There you go.
Yeah, well, Stokely Hathaway wore
Here's
his.
a quote from. Oh, here's a quote from Tokyo Sports though, by Starlight Kid. You know who Starlight Kid is, right?
No.
She's one of the stars in Stardom.
Okay.
She basically wears a mask like Tiger Mask in a ways,
Nice.
except she's very heelish.
Love it.
Like you should check her out. She's very one of the best performers in the company. I mean, I even have a friend of mine who from China that has her mask when she was babyface.
Epic. So
It's serious about changing the belt and its history, changing the title every year. She also referenced David Finlay destroying the IWGP U.S. Championship, example leading basically she wants to destroy this title and basically pull a David Finlay.
who don't want to pull a David Finlay? Everybody wants to pull a David Finlay, man. Everybody.
He's getting there, but he's still not quite there yet. But after, like I said on past few podcasts, he's gonna get there. Especially after, that destroying those titles, the IWGP US and UK title, is and become the global championship. It's way there, and plus having a feud with Nick Namath, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler.
I think he's going to win the title. I think he's going to win the title and take it back to America, and then it's going to be a traveling title after that. I honestly believe that. I honestly do. Because that's one of the things that global wrestling title, why not send it around the globe, right?
Exactly. It's sort of like the AEW's international title.
That hasn't ever left U.S. soil, by the way.
I have a feeling he's going to leave during Forbidden Door.
That would be great. And you know who we haven't seen in a minute, and I wish we would hurry up and see him again? Is Pac.
Is who?
Pac, the
Isn't
bastard.
he injured?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, what's been up with him? It's like he hasn't been around.
I know, and I'm worried. I'm starting to worry about him, and I haven't seen Miro since World's End.
I know.
Wait a minute. No, Miro just wrestled, 2-3 weeks ago?
At World's End.
Hmm.
He wrestled Andrade in Andrade's last match, and he hadn't seen him since.
Hmm. Interesting.
Very interesting. And another person we haven't seen a lot is Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford.
I see them on like Ring of Honor sometimes.
Very rare. Very rare. And that whole storyline between Johnny TV and Dalton Castle was like it got scrapped because they've been on AEW TV now.
I thought they were still doing. They got scrapped.
I don't know, but they're on Dynamite next week.
Well, I know that I don't think it was still scrapped. It was still going on like Ring of Honor yesterday.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
There you go. Things I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I still watch Ring of Honor and Honor Club, because I don't know, just like it reminds me of old school Ring of Honor TV, but it also reminds me of old school AEW Dark, and I miss watching Dark and Dark Out.
Everybody does. Now,
Yeah.
I love it because it reminds me.
Shoot, I got to get caught up, but it's like that was my plan. Tonight I was gonna catch up on all the wrestling I've been missing this week, and then you guys called me. It's like Vince McMahon naming sex dolls after dildos and everything after WWE stars.
he did.
Look at the Vader.
I thought it was really interesting how Matt Menard's becoming a good color commentator.
Yes. And what about here we go. What about the firing of the Irish commentator for SmackDown this week?
Kevin Patrick?
Yeah.
I don't think he needs to be fired. I just heard he wasn't good.
They yanked his whole contract. They yanked his whole contract. Don't buy.
They were harsh on him.
Yeah. And what do y'all feel about Sheamus's contract comes up at the end of March or April?
I think it's about time for he steps down from WWE and do what everybody else is doing. Go on tour. You've been stuck in the same house for 20 years.
Go somewhere else and make a name for yourself. You like
that's how Nick is doing. He
possibly reform the bar with
Claudio Castagnoli.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, go for the AEW Tag Team Championships.
With Claudio Castagnoli.
Yeah, he joined the BCC. I think, dude, Sheamus would be perfect for the Blackpool Combat Club.
He would. He definitely would. Now take a look.
He fits that persona along with Mox, Brian, and Yuta.
And Claudio.
I did mention Claudio.
Did you mention Claudio Castagnoli there?
Yes, I have. The Swiss Superman. The Swiss Cyborg.
Yes. One half of the Kings of Wrestling. That's an old moniker.
Oh, yeah. I even checked out some of the stuff when he was wrestling in Chikara.
Oh, whenever him and the other half of the Kings of Wrestling were doing matches there?
Eddie Kingston?
No, that is not the other half of the Kings of Wrestling. Chris Hero.
Oh, yeah, Chris Hero.
Mm-hmm.
But I did watch some of his matches he had with Eddie Kingston. They were bangers.
Yes. And my favorite match between the Kings of Wrestling and the world's greatest tag team in Ring of Honor. Those are my favorite matches to watch.
Benjamin and Charlie Haas. I love those guys. It just sucks they split them up, though.
In Ring of Honor, they were amazing. And he was still married to Jackie Gata at that time. I'm talking about Charlie Haas. I think they got divorced in, 2011 or 12?
Oh, did you? One of my favorite matches was when the world's greatest tag team wrestled the Kingdom, and apparently Maria thought she was being groped by her husband.
And she turned around.
Found out it was Shelton.
That was great.
That was hilarious. It had that classic ruthless aggression feel to you, From WWE.
Shelton Benjamin was a face at the time.
Shelton Benjamin, Maria Canales. Oh yeah, Mike Bent. Yeah, Mike. She thought she was being manhandled by her husband, Mike, and
yeah, I remember. I remember whenever he first showed up on the scene, Mike Bennett showed up in Ring of Honor, and everybody chanted CM Punk at him when he was still under the whenever he gained tutelage under the Beal guy, the the actual trainer, whatever his name was, Brutal Bob.
Mhm.
Brutal Bob. And as
Yeah.
soon as he showed up, dude, they started chanting CM Punk, and I was like, why are they doing that? And then 2 weeks later, he's like, let me introduce you to my woman, and it came up Maria Kanellis. I was like, oh, that's when they're chanting CM Punk. Like,
Because Punk dated
didn't-
Maria back when they were both in WWE.
yeah, and they broke up, and then everybody was chanting that against Mike Bennett, and I was like, damn, dude. And Mike Bennett back then was the ace, dude. Like, he was the pride and shining star of Ring of Honor at that time. And,
Oh, he's doing. I even love the stuff he's doing with the Undisputed Kingdom.
dude, they're going to be phenomenal. Even though I think it's.
I mean, him and
Undisputed
his
part.
tag team partner. What's his name?
You mean Matt Taven?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're a great tag team. I even like the fact that Roderick Strong's part of it. And I think Roderick Strong's doing the best work of his career, and especially when he does that. Adam!
Or where Samoa Joe,
Samoa!
Mm.
You know, I mean, whenever he yells at somebody, and yeah, I think that's
It's
cool.
just hilarious. Or like when you did it to Renee Paquette.
Renee, yeah,
Paquette.
yeah, you know, God Almighty, dude.
It's just they even get a T-shirt of that, and they just
To
my
me-
god! Like I love the new faction as well. It's just Adam Cole does great stuff as both a face and a heel.
But we got our first glimpse of the Scissor Gangbang.
I think
Bang bang scissor gang.
No, man, it's a Scissor Bang Gang, a gangbang. You know that.
Stop.
It's a gangbang.
Will you stop that, sir?
That's not what the T-shirt says.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't have one already that says the Scissor Gangbang.
It does. It says they do word Wednesday because I seen the clip. It says the Bang Bang Scissor Gang.
Oh, terrible. It needs to be called the Scissor Gangbang because I think
Will
it's
you
better.
stop?
I think it's a better name. I really do. I mean, I get it. I do. I
Oh
get it.
man,
I'm
I
sorry.
wish I could talk this forever, man. But it's
I
almost
know,
time
it's
for me to
late.
get some
I know.
sleep, man.
I know. So this is when we're going to end it like we always do. If you're not listening to the Ringside Ranch, you're doing life wrong. And then we are also food for your ears. And gentlemen, I do thank you for attending tonight. And I hope to see you all Tuesday. I will make the phone calls as usual. Hopefully y'all will tune in and check us out. And hopefully your ears will digest some good food for the week.
And I hope we didn't bore you to death.
Again, I hope y'all don't get turned off by the fact that I dropped some truth bombs that somebody just nobody asked for. I agree, but
Yeah, and I have friends that are watching this. It was like, oh shit.
so yeah, if they're hating on this, I do apologize and I'm sorry, but it's the truth, and if I get it, I totally get it. Y'all didn't sign up for this shit, and I understand that, but I thought, me personally, of all the shit that's going on in the world, to be candid and to be completely honest and completely open. So I don't feel like I've held anything against from anyone, and in that regard, and that's the reason why I decided to say what I said. And I know it was inopportune timing, and I agree it should have been done off camera and in private. But the way I look at things is, hell, I'm a public person. We're doing this on a public forum. So therefore, I think it should, if I didn't tell you here, then if someone goes, well, did you know this about him? And I'll be like, no. Then y'all come and ask.
On the day that Vince McMahon gets bombed, do you drop the bomb?
Yeah, I know. And like I said, very, very, very inopportune timing. And I agree. And I totally agree with that assessment. And like I said, if y'all don't ever come back on here, I totally agree with that. And I will support y'all on that. But I hope to see y'all back next Tuesday.
I'll be here, man.
I'll be here. We'll talk. We'll still talk wrestling.
Sweet. That's awesome.
We'll try to talk wrestling.
We
Let's
always
please
try.
stick to wrestling.
We try. I try.
Did you see that match? Oh, wait a minute, squirrel.
Dude, hey, believe it or not, though, man. I mean, name another wrestling podcast that does what we do. I'll wait.
Jim Cornette.
Well, Cornette talks about random crazy shit and VPNs. He talks about
also-
UFOs.
He also talks about what type of food he eats and everything. What
You know that
food he eats
restaurant?
and-
Hey, you know that restaurant that he went to last time? Nobody cares.
No, okay.
Cares.
We don't live around there.
I don't live in Lexington, Kentucky.
You also said about this. I remember one time for his 60th birthday, he ate this pizza place from what's it called? It was this pizza place over in like somewhere in Kansas City, Missouri.
I don't care, Phil. I don't know anything over there. I don't live there.
It's the Chase. That's where they had the big NWA 70-something pay-per-view.
Oh dear Jesus!
Chase, wrestling at the Chase.
Oh dear God, it was a horrible pay-per-view too.
No, wrestling
Yeah. That's whatever.
It
what's his
was
name
kind of a tradition back in the old days, though.
God,
The
dude,
only thing I did like about it was Trevor Murdoch beat Nick Gage.
not Nick Gage. He didn't beat Nick Gage. He beat Nick Aldis.
All this.
Yeah,
I get him, man. I'm so tired, man. I'm ready to go home.
you already are
Especially-
home.
You're already home.
That's
know what
just
you
how
mean.
tired I am.
I know
now.
what you mean, bro. But let me go ahead and end this here, and I'll go ahead and kill the podcast, and then we'll talk a little bit, and then y'all can go, or y'all can delete like you always do, or we can talk a little.
Hey, guys.
I'm talking a little off.
All right, later, bro. But yeah, I'll kill the YouTube feed first. Jesus, man. God almighty, how do I kill the YouTube feed? It's the, in stream. There it is. There's the button.